Okay, tennis happy. How's it going, everybody? I'm going to play the intro video. This is the first time that I'm doing it on my own, so I have some big news for you guys. Stay tuned. Check this out. I'm going to play a couple of the beginning credits a little bit different this time. I'm going to play them before I play the intro video, and so stand back. We're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to play that. Okay, so here's a few ads that I have going on, so that way I don't have to do them later. All right. All
Hello,
right.
I'm Little Dog.
Oops.
Hello, I'm Little Dog. You can catch me in an upcoming film called One Bomb. Hola, hoy soy Carlos. Me existe no próximo filme One Bomb. Obrigado.
All right, that is actually a video that is there is an Indiegogo going on for it. If we're able to get everything going on, I already have the script for it. I would love for everybody to give support. If people just went along with it and just did $5 a piece, that is perfectly good. But check out their Indiegogo. It is called One Bomb Movie. Movie. They have Facebook. They also have a Instagram. Check them both out. Support them. Give them likes. Give them follows, and follow for updates because I am a part of the cast. So I am excited. I have received my script, and I'm super excited about the project. Super stoked. Here's another ad. I have not played the intro video yet for those of you that are watching because I'm doing something a little different today. I'm playing all my ads first, and then I'm gonna do my intro video, and then I'm going to go over what I normally go to. Okay, so. Uh, let me see. Let me go
Man,
ahead.
this show's gonna be awesome, bro. This show's gonna be awesome.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to double check that real quick. So, as you guys notice, I have actually changed a few things about the podcast. So, we are no longer associated with Bell Ringer Film Productions, and I have decided to go ahead and start my own. I thought about calling it Imateo Kwan Studios, but I'm going to be actually doing a little bit more than that coming up. I have taken some of my talents and moved a little bit forward. I'm going to be making a couple of ads coming up, so more than just these alone right here, I'm going to also be doing some ads for starting off with a couple of my sponsors to kind of get things going, get some momentum, and then I'm going to spread out from there. So I think that what I'm going to go along with is Emeteo Kwan Productions. And that is going to be the new production company that I do, and it's going to be the new production company for the show. The show is is on the IMDb, as well as there's going to be a new Spotify. Keep follow my page, follow my YouTube for updates. As if you notice that we are now streaming on two Facebook pages. My personal Facebook page as an actor, I guess my professional page. The second one is the Today's Entertainers with Little Dog Facebook page. The third is my Today's Entertainers with Little Dog YouTube page. So please follow, subscribe. I'm going to be having some exciting giveaways coming up. Something that I kind of wanted to do a little while back, but wasn't sure what it should be. I'll be announcing that later. However, I do want to go along and welcome everybody. So, okay, Nathaniel Mateo, come on. Hey everybody, I'm Little Dog. Welcome to today's show. Now, you know what? I did save the word of the day today, but I'm gonna go ahead and I know how to pronounce it. I just don't know how to spell it right. Uh, but I want to go ahead and thank some of my sponsors already. So, in in true fashion, I want to thank this is affiliation site peaceoflifeshop.com, and Peace of Life does hemp products. And so here's this right here. You're going to use the code Jessie15 at logout at checkout, and JESSE15. And this is it right here. See, there's very any THCs within legal realms for Texas, as well as it has a really high THCA count, which on this one is 38.2. What is it? Yeah, 30.2, 38.2. And what you're going to do is see this QR code right here. You don't use that QR code to go to the website. This QR code is for legal reasons. If you're buying something from a person and they do not have the QR code, that is illegal. And you can get pulled over and you can get cited depending on where you are in Texas. You can either get a citation for it or, it might be a little bit more serious in some other counties. However, if you have this code right here, what it does is it comes to an expanded results for the lab report, showing everything that is in it and what is not in it, making it the legal route for you to be able to carry. Now, if they do a field test on this, that is 100% illegal. They cannot field test this. They have to send it to a lab, which costs about 250 for 3.5 grams. So thank you, Piece of Life, for the affiliation. The second one I want to thank is Enchiladas Olay. Thank you, Mary, for all of your support and everything that you've done for me, for my show, for my family. And so, we like to support you because you are a local business here in Fort Worth, Texas, as well as she just opened up Holy Cute Barbecue. And I can't wait to try that one out. But the Enchiladas Olay, I always get the keto plate over there or the brisket salad. So good. And then finally, I would also like to thank Water Pure Texas. Now, this is my work shirt right here. Kind of rank because I was wearing it today. But if you see me walking around, ask me for a free water test. That's what I do. I come out, I test your water, I make sure that the city is held accountable for what it says in it and what it doesn't. So this is where I was today. And what I do is actually we print out a report that is available to the public online. So you can go to your city and look up water report. They should be coming out with one annually. Now it is 2025. Unfortunately, these guys, I think that we're waiting for their new report for 2024 to come out. Now keep in mind, this is a 12-month average. It is not like, hey, this is what it was yesterday. No, it is a 12-month average. So for 12 months, if it's kind of high, if it's considered high, that means that there are some months where it was more than what is on the report. Because in order for that to be an average, so there'll be months that are higher, there are months that are lower. So here's a little information for you guys. You know how sometimes they say during the day, don't water your lawn? Well, you might want to be a little bit careful with that. As thanks. My mom got a filter today. Hers was installed today. And so they're very happy with it because here are some interesting things that I found about their water out there in Rendon, Texas. Yes, this is within the DFW area. Let me see. It has cyanide in the water. Cyanide, barium, asbestos, and it has, of course, fluoride and two different levels for nitrates, one measured as nitrogen. And this is in Rendon, Texas. This is the Bethesda water. Uh, I think it's a co-op, is what they have. And so, but they have these reports that are available to the public. And what I do is I check to see, are you at a high point? Are you low point? But going back to the other part where I was talking about where they tell you not to, where there's a water ban where you shouldn't be watering your grass, that's not because they're running out of water. What they're doing is they're flushing chlorine. And so whenever they flush this chlorine through the system, if your water gets onto your grass, what's happening is you're burning your grass, giving it a chlorine burn. And so that's what's burning your grass, not the water. Water hasn't ever really done anything for, negative to your grass, but that is something that you got to be watch out for. And in Rendon and many other cities in Texas, you'll get a faint chlorine smell if you're in the shower and the steam is coming up and you start getting a coughing fit. Oh, thank you. And you go into a coughing fit. What tends to happen is because chlorine is building its gas up and it's going into your lungs. So when you're inhaling chlorine, not to mention your skin is a sponge. So, you know, if you're having issues and you're having skin issues, especially eczema, what it could be is it could be the chlorine in your water. So give me a call. We'll do a free test. My other sponsors is also Red Bones Financial. I do, and I check out, see what your gap is going to be when you go to retire. Everybody's going to have an income gap. Whenever you stop working and try to retire, it's you're going to be missing income. And so what I do is I identify that missing income with the free financial needs analysis, see where you're at, check out all of your financials, give you a snapshot, and I'll make a report that I can send to you with all of your numbers. And that way you have it in the pocket. Now, if there's a way to fill that gap, that is something that I do intend on doing. Okay. So give me a call. We'll go ahead and do that. That's with my company, Red Buns Financial. Now, I've also went back into business for roofing. I always try to leave it. I'm always trying to leave roofing. However, every time I do, people need my help. They're getting ripped off by another company. They're taking their checks. They're disappearing. I'm hearing about all these different reports, all these bad roofers that are going through and telling people that they have damage when they don't. That they're not showing them any photos whenever they're like, "Yep, you got damage." Well, I don't do that. I take photos. If you have damage, I'll show you the proof that you have damage. If it's worth fighting for, because I don't want to waste my time, I'm not going to waste your time or my time. If there's damage up there enough to be approved by the insurance, I will let you know, and I will let you know the route that we're going to go based on your insurance company. However, if there isn't any damage on there, I have no problem letting you know you do not have a claim on your hands. You are actually good. Your roof is going to last a lot more longer than you think it is going to be. And there was an inspection that I did, a second opinion inspection that I did this past week. And the previous guy got up there and said, "Yep, you have damage. You're going to need to file a claim." I went because their house was leaking. And so I went inside the into onto the roof, checked it out, and could not identify any kind of storm damage. But do you know what the problem was? The siding was rotting out. Siding was rotting out, and the water was leaking into the house. And so I was able to help them out with, we did that job this week, and we were able to take care of them. However, as far as the rest of it goes, we took care of the interior, we took care of the siding. The roof was perfectly fine. There was no issues on the roof whatsoever. And so you got to really be careful with the type of people that are out there and the type of people that are around, because there's a lot of people willing to scam you. And I'm not one of them. Because I'm not one of them, I do come out and try to take care of it. Now, like I said, I mean, I don't rip people off. So I don't do a whole lot of business or advertise. I used to be on the doors a lot. I have not really been on the doors recently. So, anyways, I try to take care of everybody and make sure everybody's safe. So, moving on, what else do I have? Oh, the water pier again. So, whenever we come out and people do water tests, they bring out these little water testing kits, right? It looks like something that you get from Leslie's Pools, because it is. However, when we come out, we test for iron, copper, everything. And it's not a water test or a water kit test that we do. We actually bring this machine out. Now, this is a centrifuge, and what it does is, this is from the Spin Touch. This is a WaterLink Spin Touch. And what it does is, you see this right here, it's kept in a sealed package, and we open it at your appointment. And we put the water in here, goes to the centrifuge, gets spun out, and it lets us know what all is in the water. So that way, the machine gives us a full reading of all the chemicals. That way, I can compare it to this. And I'm not testing your water like it's pool water. So, just an idea. All right. But anyways, I do have some announcements. I have a few minutes left, but I'm going to be at the powwow this weekend, the IIAC powwow in Cleburne. That is where I am going to be this very weekend, and I hope to see you guys there. They're going to allow me to use the Bird's Nest. I'm going to do a couple of live streams this Saturday, possibly Sunday, as well as gain a lot of footage so that way I can record it and show it to you guys, okay? And so, let me see. It might pop up. Oh, there we go. This powwow, the IIAC powwow. And it's going to be Saturday and Sunday on April 12th, or April 5th and 6th. And I'm excited to say that I'm going to be there. I will be there with the stickball crew. I might be there with the water company. If not, and I am there with the stickball crew. Feel free to hit me up, and I will still come out and do a free water evaluation for you. Okay. So this is this weekend. I will be here. Not only that, next weekend I will have another announcement to where I'm going to be at a health and wellness convention out in Grapevine along with the water company. So I'm really hoping to see you guys there. We have an exciting show. I'm about to bring her on. My first guest, you will recognize. Well, I don't know if you'll recognize her, but you'll recognize her from her country music. Her name is Jessie Mapes. She is an amazing artist. She's a great songwriter, an excellent actress. I actually met her while acting. And one of the things that she did in the past was Urban Cowboy, the John Travolta movie, actually. And so I'm going to play her intro video, which is her singing it, and uh we're gonna play that for you guys, as well as I will be back with Jesse Mapes, and we are going to have an excellent show that is planned out for you guys. Thank you guys. I will be right back in a couple minutes.
So, for those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Jessie Mapes. The movie was actually written about my best friend and her ex-husband. He's running around here somewhere, so if y'all see Dude, kick him in the butt for me. But I'm gonna give y'all a little trivia thing. The first person that can come up to me after this set is over and tell me what was the very last line in the movie and who said it gets a T-shirt and a CD. You don't count. Yeah, we can play that.
I know the song. That was
The end, yeah.
You meant spoken line, right? That was
I know I'm walking after midnight out in the moonlight, just like we used to do. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I walk for miles along the highway. Well, that's just my way of saying I love you. I'm always walking after midnight, searching for you. I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on his pillow. Maybe he's crying for me. And as the skies turn gloomy, the night winds whisper to me, I'm lonesome as I can be. I know I'm walking after midnight out in the starlight, just hoping you may be somewhere. I'm walking after midnight, searching for you. Play it, pretty boys.
All right, and we are back. Hey Jesse.
Hey, little dog, how are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today. I'm very excited to have you on the show.
Oh no, I am excited to be here. So
Well, you are such an amazing person, and I've known you since I think we met in Bass Reeves, didn't we?
no, actually, we met on the set of El Toro with
Oh,
Lil
that
G.
is right.
Yes.
Uh, I always forget to list that I was in the El Toro short film and music video.
Hey, at least they see you. They cut all my parts out. So
Yeah, I saw that. I was actually kind of surprised at the role that I had, and I was like, "Whoa!" They had the camera right on me.
true that, true that. But you did good. So.
I appreciate it. And so, if you don't mind, give our viewers a quick introduction to who you are.
Okay, so my name is Jessie Mapes. I was from Pasadena, Texas, so my claim to fame originally was with the Urban Cowboy. My best friend, her ex-husband, me and my dad were all written up in Esquire magazine. And so when they decided to do the movie, I got to play myself, so which was
That
a
is
lot of
awesome. So you got to play you.
I got to play me because okay, so I had to go in and read for the part, right?
Hmm.
which everybody had to go in and read for it. But then John stepped in and said nobody can be her. You know, I mean, nobody can play her but her. So we're gonna stick with this. And so I got the go ahead from John Travolta, and yeah, the rest is
That's
history.
great. And Jesse was such a colorful character too that only you could fill you.
Yeah, I was a little bit of an instigator back then. So
That's great. No, it was a great movie, and it was actually one of my mom's favorite movies that I used to watch over and over again. And so it was great. I got to introduce her to you as well, and
yes,
so she enjoyed that very much. It was cool.
yes, it was nice meeting her.
Yeah. So uh, that was Urban Cowboy your first project that you were acting in, or did you do some acting before then?
No, Urban Cowboy just happened to fall into my lap, basically. I wasn't looking to be in a movie. I was perfectly content doing what I was doing, and I was pregnant and filming while I was pregnant. So half the movie I'm pregnant, half the movie I'm not, but you can't tell. And then
Nice.
singing was my passion. Acting wasn't. So it just
So
started
how
the
long have
acting
you been
years
singing?
ago.
Yeah.
Since I was
How long have you
three.
been singing? Since you were three?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And
My grandmother and my well, and see, my grandmother used to love to make me sing on Christmas Eve. So I had to sing Christmas music on Christmas Eve for my grandmother.
that's adorable.
Yeah. I don't know
And
how good
so
I was, but I sang for my grandmother.
so did you have to go like later on, did you start doing vocal training or maybe choir in school or church or
I've always sang in church, always sang in school choirs, but never had any formal training.
oh nice. And when did you start forming, I guess when did you first form, I guess, a band to start recording?
I don't have a band actually. I
Oh.
usually just I've got a gentleman that we do an acoustic duo around here. We live in South Texas. So JD Puente and I do a lot around this area as an acoustic
Mhm.
duo. But as far as bands go, I've worked with bands before. I've never had my own. I usually just go sit in with bands wherever if I get like if I go to Choctaw in Oklahoma, I
Mhm.
sit in with the Greg Guyman band. If I go to if I go to any of the Gillies reunions, sit in with the Randy Meadows band. So it's basically wherever I'm getting hired to go sing, I sit in with that band.
Oh, that is really cool. That is
Yeah.
actually really cool.
And it takes a lot because you have to be able to follow whatever the band's doing. So if they're not used to you and you're not used to them, you better be able to keep up. So
Nice. And I've heard
not
some
a
of
simple
your singing too.
do what?
I've heard some of your singing too. You're really good. Your vocals are awesome.
Oh well, thank you.
Yeah. So whenever I was looking on TikTok, for your ad music, I found one of your songs on there, and I was like, definitely using it.
Yeah. So no, I've got a CD out that is going right now. Some of the songs are being played worldwide, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Do you have a Spotify?
Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, yeah, Amazon. Um, yeah, I think iTunes. Yeah, it's called "Lonely" by Jesse Mapes.
Lonely by Jesse Mates. Okay. So I'm going to put that in the chat, in the thing, in the chat, so that way people can look you up. Okay.
Okay, that'll work.
And then that way, whenever it's replayed again, because I'm forming a new Spotify for the show, and so all of this will definitely be on the new Spotify. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, I'm like I said, I'm very stoked to have you here, and I wanted to make sure that people do find you. Oops, didn't mean to turn it off. There we go. That way, because this is all about promoting yourself as well as bringing exposure to you because you're such an amazing person.
Oh well, thank you.
Like we said, we met you on there and on the set of El Toro, and I've every time I've seen you or come across you or visited, you always got a really big smile and you always give me a hug. It's always great to see you.
Well, I like making friends, so and then once I make a friend, you're family to me. So
Yeah, for sure. And it definitely is that way too. Every time I see you, I'm like, oh, I'm excited. I saw Jesse today.
didn't I see you on the set of Landman?
Yes, actually at the TCU scene.
Yes, yes, yes,
And then we were doing the photo. Remember, I had you take a photo of me and the guys from Wardrobe,
yes.
and then you took a selfie of yourself too.
I took a selfie. Of course, you got to take selfies of yourself.
And I was like, oh, I got a little Easter egg. Now, how
All
long
right,
have you been acting outside?
that was a tail.
Yeah, fur baby walked by. He's like, my attention.
Yeah, that was Trinity. She thinks she's
Nice.
supposed to be in the office. So, um, you know what? Until we did the El Toro thing, I hadn't
Mhm.
acted again.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's
And
just
then,
something that came across, and I had met Leonard, and I'm like, you know what? This sounds like fun. Let's try this, and you know, even though it was background, it was fun and gave me something to do. And I've since done another video with Little Bees, Yellow Beezy,
okay.
I think. So and it was another, believe it or not, it was another Western throwback.
Oh, nice.
So, um, and again, the director decided this 66-year-old woman had to run in the scene. So I'm like, what part of me looks like I want to run? And I haven't seen the video yet, but he's got me running. So you've got Yellow Beezy shooting at this woman, right? And she's shooting back at him, and he's got me running behind her in the line of fire. I'm like, this doesn't make sense, but okay, this is what he wants. So it was fun.
You just
And
had to get
because I,
across that street, right?
yeah, and then because I made so much money doing the two rap videos, I did a gospel video for free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you got
And,
to make atonements with the Lord somehow or another. And I'm like, okay, Lord, this is.
and I did see that you also sing. So, what all do you sing? I remember when I met you, you were saying that you sing gospel and country.
I sing gospel, I sing country, I sing some old rock and roll.
Nice.
So,
And
and some
do
do
you
rap.
go on? Are you sure? You look like a rapper to me.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And so, well, coming up as far as this goes now, do you have any plans on going on tour with like your CD that you got out? Maybe going out and promoting that as an artist or doing concerts anywhere?
No, I've got a company, JJ Productions, that is promoting that we're taking one song at a time and promoting it. And we'll see how that goes. In the music business, it's hard to get anywhere and get anything done. You've got to know
Mhm.
somebody, or you've got to have X amount of dollars to get this done. So I'm working with this gentleman named Jeff Burns. They are going to be doing an awards show for independent artists. Okay, because it's hard to get indie artists at an award show. Most
Mhm.
award shows are geared for the name artists. The major radio stations won't play anything unless you're a named artist. So Jeff is going to do an academy or an award show for indie artists, and he wants me to be the MC for it or the spokesperson for it. So that'll be cool.
Oh, nice. That is gonna be awesome. Do you have any ideas when that plans on being, or is it still in development?
It's still in development. Probably towards the end of the
Okay.
year, maybe first part of next year.
Okay. Well, one thing that I do have planned coming up is I do plan on doing a media mixer for one of my later episodes up at Enchiladas Ole.
Hmm.
And I'm inviting all sorts of artists and everything. If y'all are in the area, I'd be more than happy to have you up there and have you up there singing.
Let me know
And
when.
I plan
That's an
on doing.
overnight trip for us. So
I got you. It's but just know that you're always welcome, and especially if you have any gigs up here. One of the things that we do is we let artists sleep around. Over here at our place, so that way, in order to save money. And
hmm
so, especially if we know you, and so, but that's always an option for you guys. You're always welcome.
oh well, I appreciate that. But yeah,
Uh,
let me know when you're planning on
yeah.
doing it, and I'll see what the schedule looks like. We've got two Urban Cowboy events coming up in June, so
Oh,
we'll
nice.
be in Livingston for one
Uh,
and Pasadena for the other because it's a
okay.
45th
Do you happen to
year.
know the
Yeah.
dates for those ones?
June 7th, I think. Hold on a second. Let me check. June 7th is in Livingston, and then
Hmm.
June 22nd is the one, I think it's in Pasadena. But they can
Okay.
always watch my Facebook page, and because I always post it.
Okay. And you said June 27th, right?
Yes, 22nd. 22nd.
Okay,
It's a Sunday.
22nd.
Yeah, it's a Sunday.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be. I would like to come down and check it out because you said Livingston and what was the other one?
I think it's Pasadena. Not positive, but
Pasadena.
I'll let you know once I know for sure what the venue
Okay.
is. It keeps changing, but it's our
All right.
45th
No
year.
problem. So urban cowboy. Is it like a reunion or?
Yes, yes. The original Bud and Sissy will be there. Betty Jones and Due Westbrook. They'll be there. Gator Conley will be there. Norman Tucker will be there. Quite a few other people from the movie will be there, especially the one in Pasadena. I'm not so sure how many are going to show up for the one in Livingston, but for the one in Pasadena, there'll be quite a few.
Okay, cool. And now, do you? Because I know you said that y'all are releasing like singles on your song.
hmm
Or on your album, releasing singles, which is kind of the way I've been watching a lot of things, and that's kind of the way that the trend is going right now, especially artists. It's not really full albums or songs that are dropping, they're all dropping singles
Right.
and doing like music videos for those type things. Do you have any plans to do any music videos for your songs?
I want to do the song that's out right now is called Country Girl, and I want to do a video on it. I just haven't got it set up yet. The gentleman that I was going to use has been busy with the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, so I've got to get with Ralph and see what we can get worked out.
Okay.
And then the next song will be a gospel song, and it's called "Glorify My Lord," and that was on the New York City gospel charts a few years back. So
Oh, really?
blessed
Oh,
for that.
congratulations on that.
Thank you. I was in shock when that
And
happened,
so
but I'll take it.
now we do have some people that are watching that have commented on there. Some that say that they still watch Urban Cowboy. It's been a long
Oh,
and
there's the
it's
comments.
been
I
a while
was
that it's
wondering
been
where
on,
all
and
the
it's pretty
comments
cool
were.
that.
Okay, I gotta look at the
Yeah, if you
comments.
go up on the screen and it says comments, you can check out the comments. And if you want to type anything into any information, you're more than welcome to do that, and I'll show it up on the screen. Okay. But
Okay.
that's what I've been doing is I've been typing down in there and putting it up there so that way. And here's the cool thing is that with this platform, since we're on StreamYard, it actually posts to the post itself, to the
Okay.
video itself as a comment. And so if they're just watching the comments, they can keep it that way as well. So uh, but anyways, do you have anything else like any other concerts coming up or anything that you want to promote or give shout outs to anybody?
Let's see. If you ever come down to Yorktown, which is in South Texas, outside of Victoria, we have a little band called the Almost Famous Band that we play on Fridays and Saturday nights. We have the best catfish you can eat, and it's all you can eat catfish. It's a little restaurant called Aunt Di's in Yorktown. So that's where I spend my weekends if I'm not out somewhere. And if anybody's looking for any,
Okay.
for me to come up, all I got to do is hit me up on my Facebook page, and we'll get it set up. Because I do have a band that I can bring
Okay.
with me, or like I said, I can bring just a guitar player.
Okay. Nice. And I know that your husband supports you in everything that you do, and so which is awesome. I see him all the time. He's a great guy.
He is an awesome guy. Yes, he
Does
is.
he play any? Yes, for sure. Does he play any instruments, or
No, he does
just there
not.
for moral support for you?
His claim to fame is he grew grass for Willie, and not
Nice. Oh, okay.
he was Willie's golf course superintendent.
Oh, okay. See,
So
when you say
yeah,
grass and you say
he grew
Willie,
grass. Oh, of course, yeah, that's the first place your mind went to, isn't it?
yes, it is. Hey, I'm affiliated with a hemp product here in Texas. At Texas Hemp Company.
There you go.
And so whenever I hear growing grass for Willie, you put grass and Willie together,
And
it takes on a whole different context.
well, this is true. Yeah, this is true. But no, right now
So
we're just busy. We raise show pigs and race horses and cattle and chickens, so we stay busy.
nice. Now, do y'all go to like the state fairs and all that as well too? Whenever they come down y'all's way.
No, our show pigs are bought by the 4-H kids, and we go and support our local shows. So
Nice. That is actually really cool.
yeah,
Uh,
it's fun. Have
what?
you ever played with a pig? It's like having a dog.
Except they don't bark, right?
Oh
Or do they
no,
bark?
actually, we had one that we bottle fed. Her name is Tiny Tina. She should
Hmm.
have been 300 pounds by now, and she probably weighs 100. But she was raised in the house for the first 3 months, and yeah, she thought she was a dog, and she went in and out the pet door, and yeah, rolls
That
over,
is great.
belly rubbed, and yeah,
Nice.
it's a trip. And we still have her. She's just not in the house anymore.
I bet she throws a fit when she started had to start sleeping outside, huh?
Oh, pigs get depressed.
Yes,
She
they're very
would not
emotional
eat.
creatures.
She wouldn't have anything to do with us. I'm like, okay, you're losing weight. What's wrong with you? So I threw her some watermelon out there, and then she was happy.
Nice.
So
She's
yeah,
like,
she,
I'll
now
take the trade.
yeah, but she was
Yeah.
depressed for a while. I did not know pigs got depressed.
Oh yeah. Even animals. I got pretty girl over here sitting by me. She's the same way too, where she likes to have a lot of attention, and when she doesn't get it, she gets depressed, and then she starts throwing a little fit.
Is it a dog or a cat?
She's a dog. Let me see if I can
No.
say hi, pretty girl.
Oh, she's like, no. No, we have three cats inside. And then we have two Great Pyrenees, a Belgian Malinois, and two German Shepherds outside. So,
Nice. So I do have one question because I mean, and everybody who's watching, feel free to put in the comments and question as long as it's appropriate. I'll put it up on screen and ask it. However, one of the questions I do have is for being an independent music artist, was it pretty tough getting started, or what are some of the challenges that you face?
when I did my album, I did an A and B side first. Okay,
Mm.
just to see how it went, just to have fun with it. So I did. A friend of mine wrote a song called "Lately a Stranger," and then another friend, my husband loves Gary Stewart, so I did "Lately a Stranger" on one side. I did "An Empty Glass" on the other side, and just just to give to friends. I mean, I didn't do this to make money with it, because you cannot make money anymore on CDs or live stream. It just does not happen. Your money comes from concerts and merch sales. Okay, so I did that, and then I'm like, you know what? I wrote these songs. Some of them I wrote when I was 20. A couple of them I wrote after I lost my son. And by the way, today is 8 years today that we lost him. He's one of
Oh,
our
I'm
22 a
sorry.
day veterans. So PTSD and depression are a bad combination, and so
Mhm.
that is something that's near and dear to my heart is taking care of our veterans. But I decided, okay, you know what? One of my bucket list things is do an album. So I've got 6 songs on the album that I wrote. I've got two that were written by friends, and I've got two on there that were covers. Empty Glasses being one of them, and then Crazy being another. So, and
Nice.
it's just to do something for me. It wasn't to make money. It's to, yeah, I sell my CDs when I go to do my shows, you know, um, and then I give them to my friends. So I
Nice.
had
Very
T-shirts made. I've got pictures that sign autographs with, and
nice. So it was a passion project, which is always
yeah,
a fun
bucket
thing.
list.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Now are your shirts still available? Can they be found online or?
They are still available. They are not online. You'd have to hit me up through Messenger. Um, I have, and I don't even have a picture of them. I've got pink and I've got tan, and the back is hold on a second. You know what? I can show you what the back of the shirts look like. I just thought about that. I'm sitting in the office and I have somewhere in here I have the breakdown of the shirt that I designed. Somewhere, I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. But yeah, the back of the shirt. Oh, here it is. Nope, not it. Back of the shirt is a heart with the state of Texas in it, with my name written across it, and
Oh,
wings.
magazines. Okay.
The wings
And
are
how
the
much
full
would you
set.
say one of your shirts or autograph signings go would you sell
Okay,
for?
so the shirts are $20. The CDs are 10, and if you get a shirt or a CD, the autograph pictures are free, and you can see the picture behind me.
Okay.
Uh-oh. This is the picture. See?
Oh, nice. That looks awesome.
So
And you said the CD is how much?
the CDs are 10.
Okay. I want to make sure that everybody gets in on there and free. Oh, I almost put Odo or Odo. Excuse my spelling.
No worries. I wish I knew. Wish I could find that picture. I know I've got it somewhere. I just don't know where, and I didn't even think about it till you said something.
Oh, nice. We actually have one of our on-time viewers, and actually, look, Amy said we also have somebody said hi, y'all,
Hi, y'all.
and Benita De Leon. This is actually my sister. Said that she loves that photo. She loves that picture. And then we also have Pat, who said he was living in Houston when Urban Cowboy was being filmed, and his mother was working in a corporation lawyer of the production people, and came down maybe John Travolta. Hey, that is a good question though. How was John Travolta? It's kind
He
of a
was
cool
a
person.
blast. Oh God,
It was a
yes.
blast.
So my my first airplane ride was my 21st birthday. John took me flying.
Oh wow.
First time. Hi, Amy. Um, First time I rode in a limo was with John Travolta. He And then he used to go riding around with me. I had a 1950 Chevy pickup that we had restored, and he used to go riding around with me a lot. So we'd go to lunch, we'd hang out. Deborah Winger and I hung out more than anything else, though. The chemistry on set was like we were best friends. We had a blast.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is really, really awesome. And it's really cool to hear that, some of these bigger stars that they're actually really cool people because you hear a lot of stories on the negative side of different stars and how they're different ways, but you don't hear too much of how they can be cool people, because they're people
Right,
too.
right. Well, like
It's
Scott Glenn was really cool. Barry Corbin and I are still friends. We still keep in touch. So,
that
and
is
he played
awesome.
Uncle Bob in the movie.
Barry Corbin. That sounds familiar, actually.
Played Uncle Bob in the movie.
Okay.
He's been in so dang many movies. It's not even funny. If you ever get to go see an evening with Barry Corbin, he does these little meet and greets at different theaters, and they'll play one of his movies, and he'll do a meet and greet and a question and answer afterwards. It's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. That is really cool. Uh, yeah. No, I mean, all these times, I know that there's been a major difference in the industry, especially with the rise of technology. Has that made a difference in the way you promote yourself or you are able to do your music?
I Most of mine is just word of mouth. I put it on Facebook when I'm going to be somewhere. Every once in a while, if I get a good video, I'll put it on TikTok. But other than that, it's pretty much word of mouth.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep spreading that word of mouth and keep promoting you as well.
I appreciate
I,
that.
I would like to see you go far. Like I said, you're such an amazing person,
Oh, thank you.
and for even like being in like an urban cowboy too, you were just like, oh yeah, I was an urban cowboy, and I'm like, okay, that was a great movie.
Yeah, I was in another movie, but it hasn't come out yet. And from what I hear, it's supposed to be going maybe mainstream, so I still can't talk about it.
Ah,
So,
okay, so we're gonna
yeah.
have to promote it when you post about it.
Yeah, eventually. I did get to see myself in Landman though. I had a pretty good shot in Landman. I mean, not
Nice.
Landman, 1923.
Okay. I
So
was like,
see,
which part of Landman?
yeah, no, Landman. All you saw was the top of my head. 1923. You see me. We're running this little woman out of town. So this,
Nice. And I did see the photos for that too that you sent me
yeah.
too. That
So
was
that was
pretty awesome.
episode 3 of 1923, second season. So we were playing
Okay.
temperance women.
Nice. I was in episode 1,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but I'm gonna.
I was asked to come back and do Landman again, and but I got bored at home and started working again. So I've retired 3 times to go back to work, and so I'm enjoying
Nice.
working versus driving to Fort Worth to you know sit in the hot sun for 12 hours.
No, I totally get it. Especially right now, that's the hard part about it is that there's no AC, especially when it's all inside, or when your scenes are
Mhm.
all inside. They can't use the AC unit because it makes
Nope.
too much noise for the mics.
Well, with Urban Cowboy, it was the hottest summer on record in Pasadena, and we were filming a lot during the day, so he could have the club open at night, which meant no AC, no smoke machines because they wanted it to look smoky in the club. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
miserable. But when we did 1923, it was last year in the summertime, and we're all dressed up in black and in those little bitty shoes with the heels on them, standing out in the middle of a street all day long. So yeah, it was fun.
I think did I see you guys on set for 1923?
We were in Lockhart. I don't think you were there.
I think I was. There was the outside where they had the horses. No,
Yeah,
maybe
but we were running the harlot out of town that day.
different.
That's the day
Okay.
that Spencer comes running up and cuts the harlot loose when he's
Ah,
trying
okay.
to get away from the bootleggers. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. I did a different scene in Lockhart. The other one where they were shooting like the tribal office.
yeah,
And so I
yeah,
know that there was a couple of different scenes that they were doing that day. It's really cool to see how they do these and then they put it together and make it all seem like it's completely different days. That's
mhm,
pretty cool.
yeah.
And so
It's really Feels like Urban Cowboy. They would film one section, and then they'd film something completely different. Then they'd film something completely different. And then when I was in the hospital having my son, they had to put somebody else in my place because they had to have somebody there that night. But the next day I had to be back on set. So the director hired a nanny and put my son and the nanny in his motorhome. And so I could be back on set the day after.
Wow, that
So
is a lot of strength right there.
yeah, the scene where she's asking, we're talking about riding the bull, and she says, "Does it hurt?" And I'm like, "Oh hell yes, it hurts." That's the day after I had my son.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, it hurt. But we weren't talking about the bull.
So you had like real life experience from something else that was painful to make you
Yeah,
be like, oh yeah, it hurts.
but what the funny part was the night before I went into labor, I was riding the bull.
Just shake the baby up a little bit. Baby's
Yeah,
fine.
shook him up a little bit. Yeah. But that baby is 6'3" now, so 240
Oh
pounds, 45 years old.
wow. So the shaking is that actually did good. Made him stretch a little
Yeah,
bit.
that shaken baby syndrome worked out well for him.
I think while it's in the fluid is okay, but it's whenever
Yeah.
they're out, you can't shake them like this.
Yeah, no, I did that too. You're
Oh,
going to do what? No, I don't think so. But that's when he was a little older. That was like just 3 months ago. You're doing what? No,
Like,
So
kids are always your kids, even when they grow up, right?
true that. They never, even if they leave home, they always come back for something. You'll learn that.
I'm sure. Well, I
You'll learn
got
that.
my oldest is 13,
Yeah.
and is getting up there in size. He's getting really big. But our daughter, she's 9 right now, and her idea is, I'm never leaving home. I want to stay here. I want to get old and I want to stay home. I'm like, you're not gonna feel that way when you're older.
Yeah. No, she's not. To explain to
So,
her what happens when daddy gets old and has to wear depends and what she has to do. Then she'll
oh,
never want to stay.
she's already told Amy that she's gonna wipe her butt when she's old and she can't take care of herself.
Okay, well, never mind. She's stuck. Y'all are stuck with her. Y'all are stuck.
my I think that my oldest is the same way too. He's like, oh, why would I want to live anywhere else whenever I got to get at home?
Yeah. Well, you got to pay me rent and pay for your food and phone bill and insurance and yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's actually growing up. That's what my parents did too. Whenever I got up and I started working when I was older, is we cover bills, and that's what my sisters do. They cover certain bills, and
Yeah.
so they pay all the bills as a team, which helps them out.
That's what I did with my kids. I've
Hmm.
got grandkids now that are like, well, why should I give mom money? Well, because you're still living at home and you're 19 and you're 20 and y'all have a job and y'all can pay your own phone bills and you can pay your own insurance. And
Oh yeah, right now they have the chores, and that's how they earn their keep right now.
hmm
Well, while they can't work, my youngest though he is so resistant to everything.
how old
He
is
doesn't want to help clean. He doesn't want to go to school. He doesn't want to do anything. And then he's a little aggressive with his brothers and sisters and everybody else.
how
And it's
old
like,
is
oh man, his 7.
he? Oh, yeah, it's going
But
to get worse.
oh yeah, I'm sure we're trying to find ways of dealing with him so that way he doesn't grow up to be one of those kids that are uh what do you call it? You know, where they want to do what they want to do, entitled,
hmm
where they feel entitled to everything. We're trying to make sure that he isn't one of those.
There's too many
Uh,
kids these days feel like that. So, yeah.
oh yeah, and our older two, they're like they're very much unicorns. Uh, and actually make it 3 because our our 9 year old who stays with my mom, she's actually a very good kid. You know, she's very quiet. She's meek. She's actually really, really big. She's got shoulders like me. You know, she kind of looks like me with Amy's skin tone.
Yeah, poor kid.
And she has the poofy hair too, just like whenever I was younger. I have
Yeah,
photos where my hair is like going like this, you know, and it's all curly and everywhere. She has hair that's poofy like that too.
she'll get out of it.
Yeah, so, but you know, whenever you have when is the do y'all have the Gillies? Is that the one that's in Pasadena?
The Urban Cowboy reunion.
Yes.
Gillies is, Gillies is no more, right? It burned down in '92.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was trying to look it up and I was wondering why I couldn't find anything on it.
that's
And I was
why,
like,
because
where
it burned
is
down in
it?
'92.
Okay.
So
Well,
I mean,
that makes sense.
there's a Gillies in Vegas, there's a Gillies in Nashville, there's a Gillies in Oklahoma at Choctaw Casino, but it's not Gillies. It's just
Hmm.
using his name.
Gotcha. It's kind of they're kind of following on the fame of it.
Right. That's it, pretty much.
Gotcha. Now, do y'all do any events at any of those ones, or y'all don't bother with those?
No, now I've sang at all of them, but
Hmm.
I mean they don't do anything with the Urban Cowboy.
Okay. No. Do you have any advice for anybody like a new artist or anybody who's looking to get started but just don't know where to start out at?
As far as music
Yes, as far
goes,
as music goes. Sorry.
that's hard because, obviously I haven't done a lot with mine other than just playing locally, Like I
Hmm.
said, all of mine is word of mouth. It is so hard now to get into the business. It really is. Like I said, you've got to be different from everybody else. You have to have a sound that is unique. You have to, uh, it, if you are a songwriter, it's hard to get your songs listened to. Uh, Now, I mean, Nashville is hard to get into. I mean, we've got friends that have been on The Voice and won, and still not doing anything with it. Yeah, they play here and there, but they're, Sundance Head won with Blake Shelton, and Sundance, his dad was Roy Head. Sundance just plays every once in a while. He gets to go to the Opry, but he doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, Mary Sarah was on The Voice. She ended up third, and she's living in Nashville and playing, but she's playing all these little clubs. She hasn't made it. It's just
Hmm.
it's hard. It's
Yeah,
really, really difficult unless you've got somebody to promote you that you can spend thousands and thousands of dollars to get promoted. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I
Just
gotcha.
uh, red dirt here in Texas. If you have a good sound and you've got good songs, you can submit to Red Dirt Radio. If they like you, they'll play you. A lot of the indie music stations are online, and they'll play a lot of the indie artists, and
Hmm.
that's what's helping us out. Is
Okay.
these independent stations, not the mainstream stations.
Okay. I'll see if I can find any of those because I would like to bring them on and try to bring attention to them as well.
Yeah,
You know, because independent indie artists and indie musicians, indie film, that's the main focus of the show, is because I want to help promote everybody and all these people because there's a lot of talent out there that just doesn't get the attention and very talented songwriters that are very good at structuring a song and making a very good, compelling, emotional feeling song that's just not getting any attention, and all these mainstream artists that are using 14 people to write one song, and between the 14 of them they can come up with like 8 words.
yeah.
And
So
it's repeated over and over again. And
and
so
it's
sorry.
crazy, it really is
Yeah.
because if you're sorry, eye drops. If you're a good songwriter, you shouldn't have to have other people helping you.
For sure. All right, Jesse, do you have any shout outs you want to give your hubby a shout out too, so that way.
Hi, honey. I love you. He's in the kitchen cooking.
And whenever your film, the film that you're coming up in, whenever you
Uh,
guys have a trailer, please send it to me. I will be more than happy to play it
I will let you know,
and
my
share
dear.
it.
Hopefully,
All
hopefully
right.
you and Amy can get down this way.
Oh, that'd be great. I know that I have a couple of things I'm filming down that way later on, and sometimes we come down to San Antonio to kind of hang out in that area. So, but I want to
Well,
check
we're
out some
only
of your
80
events
miles from
coming up.
San Antonio.
What's that?
We're 80 miles from San Antonio.
Ah, okay. I do want to try to see if there's a way that I can make it down, especially to like at least the Pasadena or the Livingston reunion. That would be really cool to hang out with you guys and check that out
Yeah,
as well.
that
I
would be
might
fun.
see if I can make it down there. I might stream it or something like that,
Mhm.
so that way people can kind of see what goes on and bring a little exposure to it as well. That way, it becomes kind of a bigger event. Maybe we can turn it into something. Maybe invite other people out.
That'll work.
All
Do it.
right.
All right,
All
sweetie.
right. Thank you, Jesse. It's always great talking to you.
Thank you for having me. It's good to
Thank
see
you for
you.
coming
Give
on.
Amy a hug for me.
All right, will do.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you later. Thank you,
Bye bye.
Jesse. All right, bye. And you can hit end whenever you go to the bottom, okay?
Looking for end. I don't see end.
It should be in the bottom left or right
Leave
corner.
studio.
There you go.
Leave. All right.
All
Bye,
right.
dear.
Okay. Thank you. All right. And that is Jessie Mapes, y'all. Y'all heard about that. She has some things coming out. Definitely check her out. Uh, and don't forget that you can go to her Facebook page. It is Jessie, Jessie, and then Mapes, Mapes. She does have some of her some of her shirts, $20, CDs, $10. You also get a free autograph photo from Urban Cowboy whenever you contact her. Give her a like, give her a follow, and keep up with her. She does have some things coming up, like she said, the Urban Cowboy reunion, and let me see if I can find it real quick. And oh, there we go. And Livingston and Pasadena is going to be the original Bud, and is going to be there, and so is she, as well as several other people from the cast. So definitely keep them in mind. Follow her page. Keep up with the updates. It is going to be amazing. Now, before we bring on our next guest, I actually want to go through because if you notice, I didn't play everything up front. Some of the things that I want to do is some of the stuff that I'm passionate about, but that is not it either. We are going to start doing giveaways. And now this is from a artist that is from the Manitoba Winnipeg tribe. His name is Dick Ellert, and he beads. And so I have hat for giveaways. This one is Danger Women Shopping. It's kind of a funny one. So we have that as well as now I'm not sure how popular this is gonna be, but these ones are gonna be our first giveaways when we get to 25 subscribers on the YouTube page. I'm going to be doing beaded hats that we're going to be doing as giveaways. Now, some of the ones as we rise up a little bit higher, and these are just samples of them right here. So if you're not a Cowboys fan, no biggie. Eventually we're going to make our ways to the other NFL ones, but these happen to be Cowboys beaded hats that we'll be doing whenever we get to 100 subscribers. So 25 subscribers, we do some of these a little more simpler ones right here, and we do have more beaded hats, and so I'll be getting those and put them out. Sorry about that little yarn that was attached to it. So 25 subscribers, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do it on a live stream. I might do it at the end of the live stream or in the middle as we do in between segments. And we are going to do a randomized giveaway for beaded hats. And it's done by an indigenous artist, somebody who is enrolled in the Manitoba Winnipeg tribe, the Métis Federation. So out of Manitoba, Canada. So they're Northern Cree, and that is a giveaway that we're going to be giving away. So I said it multiple times. Don't know why. But anyways, subscribe to my YouTube page and or follow and subscribe, whatever. Give notifications. That way, you guys can keep updated with all the shows because every show is going to be on Wednesday. And eventually, the whole thing is that I've been actually been doing a lot of stuff with Dallas Film Hub, and I've been going to their Film Hub Fridays events where we've been shooting short films. And those are going to be coming out on the IRM or the Dallas Film Hub page. Go out there. I'm going to be actually posting some interviews that I did, some little short segments on, and those are going to be posted to my YouTube page. You want to check those out? Go check it out. It is tew.little.dog. So today's entertainers with Little Dog on YouTube. Or it might be TEWLD. One of those two. Anyways, today's entertainers with Little Dog. You will see the emblem of my show and you will be able to check that out. So I really appreciate it. And I'm going to bring up one of the things that I have a passion for, which is a native course renewal, which was the American Indian Native Studies. So at the end of this year, the school year, they're up for a revote in Grand Prairie. Currently, Grand Prairie is the only school that's teaching American Indian Studies, the real history of what happened, versus this watered down history that makes us indigenous people look like we've completely disappeared off the world, or that we're history, that we're not really around anymore. And Austin is trying to teach the same course as well, and so I want to highlight it so that way you guys can go over and sign the petition. And so I'm going to be playing that here in a second, but get your phones ready. You're going to see a QR code that's going to pop up on your screen while she's talking about the American Indian Studies. Now, this video can explain it way better than I can, but if you would like to sign the petition, be a part of it, learn the real history of what happened to the indigenous people, learn what happened to the indigenous people out of Texas, because if you notice, there's no reservations here. That's by design. So learn the real history about the land that you live on, the people that were here, what happened to them, because it's nothing like Pocahontas. Nothing like Pocahontas. All right. So watch the video, get your phones ready, and either screenshot it or do it from another phone. Watch the QR code. Okay.
Currently, only 3 out of over 1,000 school districts across Texas have an American Indians Native Studies course, but other school districts such as Austin and San Antonio have expressed their interest to teach this course, which is why we need your help to make sure this course gets renewed this winter. For a little bit of context, the American Indian Native Studies course is currently offered as a pilot course in Grand Prairie ISD, and it is up for renewal at the end of this academic year. The renewal would renew the existing course that is already approved and make it available to teach in school districts across Texas for the next 5 years. Unfortunately, the renewal process has not been placed on the agenda at the State Board of Education meeting this January, which is why we need your help. Because school districts often define their calendar for the next academic year in the early winter, we need this course to be renewed as soon as possible so that it has a chance to be offered next year. Please help us email State Board of Education Chair Kinsey through the link in our bio or in the caption below to make sure that the American Indian Native Studies course renewal and adoption be placed on the next available agenda. Thank you guys so much.
All right. So, guys, if you could help out, that would be wonderful. Really appreciate the support. And you know what? Yes, Troy, that was very fun. Appreciate the comment. And thanks, Will, for your support. Even though we're no longer associated with Bell Ringer Productions, thank you for getting us started on the air. Appreciate it. So as we continue forward, I am going to play the new one. Next we have up is Troy James. Is simply known as Troy. And so I'm excited to bring him on here. I've been in communication with Troy for a while. He is an amazing person. He's extremely talented as an author, and he's also a singer and a songwriter. We were hoping to have him here live today, so that way he could bring his guitar and play. However, that was not in the cards. I'm going to try to get him out for my media mixer, see if he'll do a show for us, but I'll ask him that later. So I have a little clip from another interview. I didn't want to get hit with anything from copyright because it is an interview, but however, this is the only media I have of him. And so we're going to introduce him with this 14-second clip explaining the plot of his book, The Money Island. And then when we come back, Troy will be joining us.
Fresh out of college, been out a couple of years, and really don't have any direction in life, but their parents are a little upset with them for not moving on and getting careers or getting their master's degrees. And so one of them hatches this idea to come up with a lottery.
Hey, Troy, how's it going? Can you hear me? Maybe turn your volume up. No, still can't hear me? Huh. That's crazy. I can hear you. Let me see.
How's that?
Oh, okay, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I got a speaker that I listen to, and I forget. I was looking for a dual.
Okay.
Anyway, how
Hey,
are you?
doing great. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Man, I tell you, I'm looking for the TV cameras today the hidden cameras, because I must be on a hidden camera show the way the day's gone today. So,
Hey, some days it feels that way, right? It feels like you're on an episode of Punked.
yeah, and I'm looking for Ashton Kutcher any minute to come out and so.
Anyways, if you wouldn't mind, give everybody a quick introduction to who you are, real quick.
Well, I'm relatively new to the writing. Been doing this about 8 years, but had a book come out about 10 years ago called The Money Island. Everybody kept saying it ought to be a book or a movie rather, and so I'm just dumb enough to think, well, maybe we can make that happen. Had my first deal in around 2014, lost it in 2016, and then I had another deal for it, and then something called COVID came, and when that and but COVID was good to me actually, because they said stay home, if you're not uh, uh, essential, and I was starting a company, and I was getting no traction there, so I just stayed home and wrote, had 2 3 scripts to my name, and by the time COVID was done, I had 16, and had done some other ghostwriting and script doctoring, so it was pretty good for me actually, and
Nice.
so.
Man, that is awesome. And so COVID was good for writers. Time to
Yeah,
stay home. It's like, okay, cool. I can work on this now.
I had an excuse. Nobody was expecting anything from me. Yeah.
Nice. Now, you said that you came out with 6 scripts. Now, were have any of
16.
your scripts made it to? Oh, wow. Uh, I know that you have some that are being sold for like films and all that. Are any of them out on film, or are they just being worked on currently?
Well, I have about 4 that are actually in that are films or pictures that you can see on everything from Tubi to what have you. Only problem is when you're a ghostwriter, they basically pay you to go away, and you get no credits, no residuals or anything like that. Which actually I was fine with, because I really want only my scripts to have my name on them. And
Hmm.
luckily, I have a manager who sees it that way. She's very pro uh, me, Dawn Marie Larkin out of LA. And then my producer is pretty much the same way. I have one producer, Michael Luce, who's got 3 scripts. And then I have another, Mark Toland, who has the comedy I told you about, where you're going to have to lose those braids if you're in it. No, 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 that's not it. It's the war movie. You're going to have to lose
Yeah,
those.
that's the war movie. The comedy was a different one. Now I've read the comedy script. That was pretty good. I liked it.
Thank you. Let's say
I laughed a lot during that one.
Blazing Saddles meets Airplane with a little Austin Powers.
Yes. I really liked it. I'm not going to give anything away on it, so don't worry about that. But it was it was really funny, and I'm like, man, I would really like to see that come to to be, and I would like to be a part of it if I can be. So that's pretty awesome.
Well, when Bart first read it, he called me and he said, "This is the funniest script I've read." He said, "The only thing is, can we make a film like this nowadays?" And I said, "That's the whole selling point. When they say you
Mhm.
can't make a film like this, we're like, well, oh yeah, well, hold my beer and watch this." So,
The thing is that I saw that Rob Schneider actually said on one of his stand-ups, or even in interviews, he said, freedom of speech doesn't protect, you know, those who are not offensive. Freedom of speech protects, things that people would get offended by. And honestly, there's a lot of jokes in there that I can see being somewhat offensive. However, whenever it comes down to it, it's one of those films that come out and it's like, hey, this is a film to not take seriously.
Yeah,
And what it kind of reminds me of is like say, how like Tropic Thunder
yeah,
and Robert Downey Jr. did the whole body thing, the blackface and all that, but he wasn't canceled for it because in the film he says, "I'm just a dude playing a dude acting like another dude." You
yeah,
know, it wasn't that he was trying to purposely be offensive or be like, "Hey, I'm black" or anything. But and not even in the film it was recognized that way because there's like one line where he goes, "What do you mean, you people?" And that guy goes, "What do
yeah.
you mean, you people?"
That was
And
a
that's kind
great.
of what it
Yeah.
reminds me of. It's like its own disclaimer within the movie of, hey, don't take it seriously.
Well, I
And
think it's.
so, and it's
I
the
think
kind of comedy that I like.
Well, I think it's time to laugh again. Everybody's so worried about this and that, and you know, my genre gets made fun of so often, and if it's true, laugh at it, if it's
Yeah.
and so that was it. And I really, really want Bart to pull Dave Chappelle in on it because I think that's kind of his humor, and I think it would be a big sell.
I think so too. That would be hilarious, and it would be great to see that come to be. And like I said, I laughed so hard at it. I was like, "Oh, that is so good," and even like whatever it came to my people, I was laughing. I was like, I could see a lot of people laughing at this because a lot of it's true. You see it on the reservation and stuff that has a lot of true concepts in it and mislabels, I guess we'll call it. you know, like like inside the establishment within the village where they talk about the food. That is a mislabel of word, and the fact that you put it in there like that, I was like, that is perfect.
Thank you. Come again.
Yeah. It's so I can't wait to see it to come to fruition. And so is that one about to go is that one looking into being a film, or is that something that's going to be worked on here soon, or
Well, it's worked on. I know the various directors that Bart has tried to pitch it to, and some are A-listers. So I would really, love to see that come to fruition. And I, gratuitously wrote a scene where the screenwriter is in the scene of the movie because every screenwriter wants to somehow inject themselves into the film. And when you do it with who I chose to, I think that would be talked about just as much as anything. And that's what I really try to do. I um I come in sometimes, I'll walk in and my wife will be watching a movie and I'll stop to watch it with her, okay, who's this guy? And she'll tell me, she goes, oh, that's the uh, main guy. And I'm like, okay. And that his wife? She goes, no, ex-wife. I said, okay. And that is, oh, his best friend. Okay. And that's the bad guy. Oh, okay. Well, I tell you what, at the end, he's going to get the bad guy. His best friend's probably going to die or come close to it, and he'll get the woman back, his ex back. And she's like, shut up. I'm trying to watch this. And so 2 hours later, I come in, I goes, had the movie, and she goes, shut up. I don't want to talk about it because it was exactly predictable, like I said. And I said, so I could have saved you 2 hours of your life, because that's
Mhm.
the way so many films are. And I'm just trying to be unpredictable. Uh,
Yeah.
when people call me and go, oh, I'm at the part where this is about to happen, and it doesn't, or it took a twist, and they're, whoa, I, you know, where did that come from? I think I've done my job.
Nice. And I think that the same, movies are too predictable today. Uh, I went out and I saw a movie that was it? I think it was called Smile, and we saw it in theaters with my sisters. And and thanks, Robbie. And about I want to say about quarter of the way through the movie, I figured the end out. And I turned to my sister and I said, "Hey, this is what's gonna happen. It's this person. And as soon as it got to the end of the movie and they came out to be that person, she's like, "How did you know?" I was, I was just watching it and I could figure it out by looking at it. But I like movies that throw you for a spin, and it's like it's something completely different that was like such a small, minor detail that it could go by unnoticed. And so those are the type of films that I like because they keep the mind ticking and keep me visually and mentally engaged because mentally I can get a little distracted when things get slow, unfortunately. And I think that's how a majority of people are nowadays is that if it's going really slow, you're gonna get bored and you're gonna be like, oh, I lost interest in it. I couldn't finish it, you know?
And that would be a
And
scary
so,
thing to hear from somebody if they were reading one of my scripts. You know? It's a funny business, you know. I decided kind of late in life to try to get into this, you know.
mhm.
Being in my 30s,
Oh, nice.
if someone wants to buy that, go ahead, you know, go ahead. Or 40s or whatever. But no, it's funny
I bought
because
it.
the checks in the mail. Um, one Saturday afternoon, I get a call from a guy, and he says, Troy, my name's so and so, so I'm the head of production for this company. And I just read your script. You sent it to me about 6 months ago. And I said, yes, sir. And he said, you call yourself a screenwriter. And I was really kind of coming to terms with being able to use that term. You know, who am I? Right? All these others are established, and I'm just coming in. And I said, yes, sir, I do. And he said, well, don't. Ouch. And he goes, look, I am a 20-year Marine. I am black. I'm 48. Been married to the same woman 20 something years. I'm straight. I'm tough. But today, this morning, you had me bawling. And he goes, my dad was my hero too. And he goes, you're no screenwriter. You're a storyteller. And
Mhm.
anytime anyone asks from now on, you need to tell them you're a storyteller. Because there's tons of screenwriters. You're a story. And so it's kind of, you learn things you don't, you're not programmed to think about. And, I'm still learning about myself on things. My manager, even, she CCs me on everything she writes to producers, directors. And she mentioned the other day, she goes, Troy lives to write. I thought I never thought about that either. So I'm kind of learning about myself in this whole process, and I should know myself better than anyone. But
Nice. It's pretty cool as things go on. You kind of start to discover more about yourself, and it's like, well, I guess I had more talent than I thought I had.
well, either that or just I'm, you know, failed at everything else, so I might as well succeed at something. And I was back in November. I was at a mixer out in LA, and I walked around and see this producer that I know, and I'd just been insulted by this actress because I was from Texas and she was from Colorado, and evidently Colorado they hate Texas. So she had let me know that she did not appreciate Texas, and I'm like, okay. So I walk over and I see this producer, and he's talking to this actress. He says, Troy, come here, I want to introduce you to this actress. And she goes, are you an actor? And I said, I'm not good looking enough to be an actor. I'm just a writer. I got the face for one. And she said, oh, you're a sponge. And I thought, I've just been insulted 2 minutes ago, and now I'm been insulted again. And I'm thinking of how to process this because I had a pretty good comeback with the actress. And I think, do I use another one here? And then before I answered her, she goes, you absorb everything. You absorb everything from your life, don't you? I thought, yeah, I do, because I've had some stories. People are like, where did you get that idea? And I said, I heard it as a child, and I made a
Nice.
story back. So it's a every time I think I know something, I learn a little more about myself, in this.
That's pretty cool. And now, going along with the writing, we see that you're also a songwriter too, right?
Yeah, I actually have two songs and scripts that are there, and one is option called Arrowheads, and it's I had pitched the song to a guy I knew from my hometown or Freestone County, and he was in Nashville, and uh, people kept saying that's a George Strait song, and um, I thought of who I knew directly who knew George Strait. Well, that guy had died, so I thought, well, who do I? And so this guy said, "Look, I know his manager. I'll pitch you." So I sent it up there, and they said if he likes it, you'll hear. So I never heard back. But during COVID in April of 2020, I went to see a friend play music, which was one of the rare concerts happening at that time. And I ran into a guy, and he said, "Man, I love that song. I love your dad." And I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, "Why have you never written a script about that?" Again, learning about myself. I thought, well, I should. I mean, why haven't I? And I thought, well, it deals with 5 decades. So um, how do you do that? So anyway, I finally went home and figured it out and wrote a script and uh, got it optioned 2 years ago. And then a thing called the writer's strike. I got it optioned in March of 2023. We're supposed to get paid for it in May, and in April, the writer's strike hit. I'm like, damn, like, is there a sign? I keep looking for the kick me sign on my back. So, but we may have that option, that funding back, because we lost funding during that time. Because when
Yeah,
the actors joined the strike, it went longer, and the investors were like, "Hey, we're out of here." So,
yeah. And
I'm
so
still
that's something that's coming back now. Is there's a possible options coming up on it? That's
Well, no,
pretty cool.
I've left the option still open with the producer, and but Michael reached out to me recently and he said, "Hey, I think I've got some, people on, the funders, different funding group, and we should know something here pretty soon." So I'm just waiting by the phone any minute, So hopefully,
Nice. Hey,
so
fingers crossed, man. That is awesome.
yeah, hey, everybody who knows about this or knows me, take a knee and pray. Remember, because if we can show up at their door and knock on it and say, "Hey, fund this poor guy here," do it. But it's it's loosely based on mine and my father's relation. I don't usually say that because people are like, "Who are you? Why would we care about that?" But it's not so much about me. It's just my father's wisdom, my late father, and just the things he said. And it's all about a legacy. And he left a legacy, and it was really kind of nice because at his funeral, a guy walked up to me and said, "Troy, I've been to hundreds of funerals." He goes, "But today was the first day 100% of what they said about the man was true." I
Oh
really
wow.
meant a lot to me. And I always felt a little in my dad's shadow, but that was okay. So I just like to be able, when my time comes, that my son would be able to say 25% of the good things about me. I would consider that a success.
Nice. Now, going back to because I know that you said that a while back, the Money Island was going to be possibly a film.
Mhm.
Is that something that's coming up now that funding has picked up and the industry's starting to pick up again? Is that something that's going to be a possibility now as well, or?
Well, with the funding that comes in, Michael would have first shot at that one. In fact, I had during COVID one of the few deals that may have, I had one Oscar-winning A-list actor who had yet to make his directorial debut have interest in it. In fact, I even had to write him a personal letter why I wanted him to direct it. And then he held it for a few months and then decided to do something politically later, which he never really did, which I kind of got frustrated. So, but I haven't given up hope on that guy. I just need to have funding behind him when
Mhm.
it happens.
Okay, and so that's what I like to do is like I like to help out everybody who and bring attention to everybody, uh, because
So
some
you
of the
got a
things that
$60
some
million
people
dollar check for me?
I'll try. I'm starting to get better paying acting jobs, and offers like my agent, Thanasis from Enter All My Talent. He just submitted me, and I have an audition that I got to turn in for a commercial in Prague, and it's gonna have a, if I do get it, it's gonna be a great paycheck, but I'm happy to see, that my agent's starting to move things along and get me some jobs, try to, advocate for me. I've been seeing him submit me for a lot of different jobs, which is pretty awesome. But my goal is to keep moving up in the industry and keep building my brand, which my brand is, Little Dog. And keep bringing attention and awareness to indigenous people, as well as the indie artists and people in independent film. I want to bring attention to everybody in it, because just because there's the entertainment industry doesn't mean that everybody has to be an actor, because there are many different components that go as part of as far as being in the industry, such as yourself. You're a writer, you're an author, and that's very important, because without your talents and your skills, there you know a lot of different films that rely on writers to do stuff. A lot of those who go without writers tend to end up pretty bad. It shows some talent and skills to be able to have the foresight to be like, okay, I'm gonna write this, and then everything connects around towards the end. And whenever you have a twist, especially, it's like you got to be creative to come up with stuff, because most people come through and they'll play something all the way through one way, and it makes absolutely no sense. And you can tell, because when the film comes out, everybody's confused of, okay, what was that movie about again now? And during that strike, you could see a lot of different films that did come out where the plot line was confused.
Well,
And so,
I've had something stolen before, and so I've really learned to protect myself. And
mhm,
that's another reason why I ask people to read scripts, and that way I got the uh, electronic, footprint there that I sent it to this person they know. And
mhm,
like when I asked you to read The Lost Texan, I did that based on the Indian humor and Native American. I wanted you to uh, tell me what you thought, because I want to, I'm not out to offend people, but
mhm,
I want to see, because somebody's going to have an idea. When the Money Island, when it was a manuscript, one of my best friends, she read it, and she goes, I don't like it. She goes, I got to be honest, I don't like it, because it's hard for me to get into, four rich guys trying to be richer. And that, what I'd had a magazine idea stolen from a former sportscaster and a trust fund kid here in Dallas, and I couldn't get a law firm to take it. They all admitted I could, cheated, but I used all my money to develop the magazine, and but I learned, and I was, but I'm one of these. I find revenge, and success is the best revenge, and so that's when I sat
yes.
down to write to write the Money Island, to do something. But some of that anger was coming through, in which I came to the manuscript. And before it got
Mhm,
published, I had to go back and rework it to where the guys were likable, and they were doing good things, and according to people at work. So yeah, I'm big on you know, my feelings aren't hurt if someone says I didn't like this, or it was too slow here, or something. I'll listen and go, how can I make it better? I had an
yeah.
editor one time tell me, she said, I read your stuff, and it's really clever, but you do need help in writing. And then she starts going on about you. She's had some run-on sentences. You um, said the same thing twice. She did this, and she went on. She was talking for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then finally she said, Troy, are you there? Oh, Troy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm here. And she's like, wait, most writers are arguing with me, going, no, no, and you don't get it. And I said, look, you're not the first person to tell me I needed help in writing. I said, I could probably out argue you and make you think that I am a great writer, but you're not the first to tell me I probably need help back then. And I said, I need to listen and learn, so
Mhm,
my ego's intact. I have no delusions of fame. My thing is, I just wanted people to know if they need a script cleaned up, they get my number and they call me because of the other films that I have that had some degree of success that are still waiting to be made.
Okay. I mean, and that's really cool. That's really cool to offer your help with that. One of the things that I recently got into writing myself. Uh, there was a show that I was cast to, and we did a pilot episode. However, we were told that well, the people that would have been the main ones behind it that would have been using location for it, they read it. They didn't really like it because it was too true to how it really was, and they didn't want to expose that. And so we had to do some rewrites. And around this time, the person who was writing it wasn't getting along with the director, and where no, I want to say it wasn't getting along. They were getting along just fine. She just wanted to pursue. The writer wanted to pursue her own passion projects, and so they parted amicably, however you say it. However, it left the show without a writer. And so the director opened it up and said, "Hey, does anybody here know how to write or would be interested in writing?" And so I was like, "Well, I used to write a long time ago. I may have something that I may be able to come up with." So we had the character Bible. He showed us how to do that. He told us at first, he told us to go to ChatGPT and be able to get some ideas and stuff like that. But what I ended up doing was, so I tried that first. I didn't like it. I didn't like what ChatGPT came up with. So what I did is I took the outline and I replaced every bit of text with my own script. And I was like, okay, well, now that I see how the outline is made, I'll just do that. I'll just empty it out and fill it in myself. And so I did that and it came out pretty good. He asked me to write another episode. And so I wrote another one. I think altogether there was going to be like 7 episodes, but I couldn't stop at that. I wrote like I think I wrote one, two, three. I wrote 4 of the episodes, 3 of the episodes. I was in charge of writing 3 of the episodes, but one of them was going to be so long that I split it into a double episode. And by the end of, because there was going to be about 4 of us, I was calling the other writers who were doing the episodes in between mine to get a context, to let them know what I was doing, get a context of how their episode looked. So that way mine could be a continuation of the episode. So it didn't seem like it was something separate. And we all wrote it separately, but he liked the way that it came out. Now he's like, hey, there's actually so much here. Why don't we just take this and convert it into a movie? And so at the end of not this year, but the beginning of next year, we plan on turning that into a full movie and then with the option of a TV show afterwards. So, I mean, it's kind of cool how it works out that way. And not only that, I started to write my own little short films. It was supposed to be a short film, but the amount of that I've been writing, it seems like I might have to mix it into like a full uh series, like a YouTube series or something, and just kind of shoot it myself with my little camera. And so, but whenever I used to walk, I used to go on these long walks, and during the time that I was walking, my mind would be so distracted that I would start coming up with short stories as I was walking. Like, I'm walking through and it's hot, and I'm like, oh, a soldier lost in the desert, you know, crazy stuff like that. It's so, but it was kind of fun. I did find it fun and relaxing. The only thing is that after a while I was doing it, not that I had the hang of it. I don't know if this happened to you or ever happened to you, but I got a writer's block for the first time, and I was like, "Hey, this actually matters." Wait, what was I gonna write down again?
Well, that's where playing guitar comes in really well because there's always a guitar near me. And if I get anywhere near writer's block, I'll pull the guitar out, and start playing. And it just it's a different kind of creative process, but it it opens that door to let the squirrel run in its cage, to come up. But I don't know. if you've ever been around songwriters, that someone can make a phrase about, if I didn't know now what I knew then, would I go back again? And if you're in a group of songwriters, half of them will make the stupid face, and they're thinking about a song, and that's that's me. I love it and when somebody says something, because you can always see that creative group about, ooh, yeah, and you see that thought process take place. But in fact, it's funny. People always ask me, "What made you think you could write, film scripts?" I say, "Well, I've been telling stories in music, my own music, in 4 minutes. I just now tell them in 90 minutes. Plus, I'm long-winded, so uh, I can stretch 4 minutes really easily."
Nice. And that's pretty cool. That does take some talent, because I've tried to do songwriting, which I used to play guitar, but I used to but I did I tried to do songwriting. I never was really good at writing songs. I was good at the short stories and doing other stuff like that, but when it came to that, it was always a big challenge for me. And I could play guitar. I can't sing and play guitar at the same time, but I can sing or play guitar. So, but I've tried doing some songs. It just seems to be more like run-on sentences for me. And so I do say that you guys do have some really good talent for being able to do that.
Well, it's crazy that you can hear guitars and you can see someone play, and I am surrounded my group of friends are just tremendously talented musicians. I just want to slap them sometimes. They're so what gave you the right to be that awesome? So, but that's another thing. I kind of use that as far as what I'm doing. In like Jessie was talking about earlier, it's hard to be heard. Um, I used to book bands. I was a sports agent, and I left that and I transitioned into being a booking agent for some artists. And I would get every week. I would get a CD from a band, up and coming band. Troy, look at our stuff. Our CD's about to come out. Here's a rough copy. It's not mastered, but listen to it. We're sounding really good, and what have you. And I would always listen to it, and without fail, out of 10 or 12 songs, there would always be one killer song on that CD. I mean, better than anything that you're hearing on the radio. And I'd even ask my wife, did they do a cover here? And I don't know this cover. I mean, this is a good song. She would like, no, no, because my wife's a little younger than I am. I thought maybe she heard something. And so, but that band didn't have a following. There was, it didn't matter how good that song sounded. It's like a tree falling in the woods. If no one's there to hear it, oh yeah, it makes a sound. It makes a fabulous sound, but just no one was there to hear it.
Yeah.
And I just tell people I don't want to be that tree that falls where no one hears it. And I'm all about the promotion to get it done. I've had the perseverance. It's had some very near misses, but coming from sports, I've been around a lot of guys that did the impossible. And when I wrote my book, I'm a small town guy. I came from Freestone County. Didn't have rich parents. Had dad provided very well, but they weren't Rockefellers or anything. But I wanted to see the world, and I wanted to travel and be relevant in sports. And I found a way to do that. Did the same thing with music, and so now, with film. So I've always found a way. It's just perseverance.
Yeah. And I do see that as a reoccurring theme on the show, as perseverance is what helps you to do success, because especially whenever you start off, you're not going to seem like you're moving very fast. And, me, I've been fortunate that I have a look that's kind of favored me. I have a really heavy indigenous look, especially when I turn like this. I'm just playing. But, sorry, a little humor.
Well, I'm only 132nd, but I still got it.
Nice. So if there are 32 of you inside of a building, you got a full blood.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Sorry. So back in the day, I used to do a little stand up.
Yeah.
And one of the jokes that I did was, because I believe it's Cherokee. That's 132nd in order to be enrolled. 132nd or 136. I don't know what it is today, but it used to be around there. Or I think it's like 168, somewhere around there. It was a really small amount. However, I used to joke around, say, what do you call this many Cherokee inside of a building? You call the building a full blood. And so some crowds is really good, but I found that some crowds that didn't go over too well.
Well, my great 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 grandmother uh, was Cherokee, so
Okay.
from North Carolina. She was married to my grandfather. She died young, and but I didn't realize that until about 5 6 years ago. She so she wasn't a part of the Trail of Tears, but my dad did come from Oklahoma, but it was
Okay.
along that line of the so we
Yeah,
always
that
thought it was a
that's
little we always thought it was a little more, but my grandmother, she had those features you could see,
mhm.
and we thought it was her grandmother. It turns out it was her great grandmother. So,
Oh, that is actually pretty cool.
but it was
Yeah,
something
I did
always
it.
to be proud about, because when, like I said, the film, one of the films that's been optioned is called Arrowhead, and my dad and I used to bond by we would come in from work and would go out 30 miles out into the country to where this known encampment was, and we would hunt
Mhm.
arrowheads and artifacts. And my dad would explain to me not only the gospel and his faith and why he believed what he did, but also that we were holding something. Look, this was 150 years ago that some brave provided for his family with this arrow right here. And there was something to be very, proud of. And so I grew up in, there was Fort Parker massacre that took place, and where Cynthia Ann Parker and Quanah Parker, from
Mhm.
all that. In fact, I was wanting to make a film about Quanah Parker, and then I found out someone's already doing it. And they're a big production company, so know your
Yeah,
limit. Don't. Well, I say
I,
that it's
I
funny. This is a guy who wrote, and that's always kind of been my mantra. For those who think limitations is just a word in the dictionary, and I'm kind
mhm.
of living proof of that because I'm not that special, but yet I've stayed with what I wanted to do and pursued it. And that's what I tell people when they go, "Wow, you wrote a book, you did this. What advice do you have?" And I just accept that the word limitations is just a word in the dictionary.
Yeah. Uh, and that is actually that is actually pretty cool that I think of, because I know that Quanah Parker. I did work on a project not too long ago, and it's called that was a post-doc thing, but they're trying to get funding for it. But it's one of the Quanah Parker. It's a book based on Quanah Parker's life, and I know that you know uh, I believe next. I'm not sure if it's next year. I'm not sure when it is, but I know that Taylor Sheridan is actually going to be working on something similar too. Uh, a Quanah Parker story as well. I think it's because I saw that he recently bought the rights to. I think it's Empire: The Rising Sun. I think it is.
Right. Yes.
And so I do see that that is something that's in the plans for him to make, I believe, a TV show out of, because they did start putting the Comanches in some of the films uh, for like 1923 and all that, which is kind of an intro, almost like a segue that they could do to incorporate into, I guess, the Sheridan verse.
Yeah.
And
It's a pretty good
and
word.
so there is a segue there for it, and so I'm wondering if that's going to be something that he tries to do to introduce into like the 1883 storyline or 1923 storyline that he has going on, to where there's a spin-off, because we have Bass Reeves, which was like a spin-off of like the 1883 universe stuff, you know.
Hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to get to the point to where I can make my name known enough, because I am a Texas actor, and there's a big push that, since there's a lot of productions and big productions moving to Texas, that they want Texas actors to be on par with actors from other markets, such as New York and LA, and those guys put in a lot of work into their craft, and they have a lot of passion that you can see from it, and I would like to be on par with that. And there's a lot of agents that want that to be something that the money gets paid out to Texas actors, and Texas actors start to rise with the production market in Texas. And so that's something that I'm trying to do as well. I mean, I'm in the process of trying to get into acting classes. Once I get a little bit more funds rolling, that's why I don't really make money off of the podcast. I do it out of a passion, because didn't start off that way, but it's something that came out that way. It started to become a passion of mine. And so, I use the companies that I have to try to fund my acting career. And so, I would like to be considered for the TV show, or at least get an audition for it. If anyone knows Taylor Sheridan, no. But I've been in his productions, and they have been pretty interesting. Like, I did the first official big acting job I did was for Lawman Bass Reeves, which
Oh,
I mentioned a little bit ago, is written by Taylor Sheridan. Then I've been in 1923 and Landman, and it's all been great. I've been kind of seen in each one of those, which was kind of a surprise, because I did it, never expected to be seen. I was like, they're gonna blur me out. And now people have been able to see me, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And so I started getting some bigger roles, through some uh production companies. Can you hear me?
oh, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, just making sure. And so now that I have the speaking roles, I'm pretty happy about that. But I plan on moving up more and more, and being better, because I do have a lot of people who support me. My family supports me. I have a lot of friends that support me, and I really appreciate your support as well. You've always been there as well too, ever since we met a little while back, and so I really appreciate that. And I do want to bring more attention to yours, because you have a very cool background as well. The fact that you did the sports and all that. How long did you do sports for?
Not quite 2 decades, almost 2 decades, but it was a lot of international travel. In fact, that's where I got the money, the idea for the Money Island, because I'd be flying over, say, 13-hour trip to Japan, then flying over the Pacific, looking down at the ocean, going, that's a lot of space there. If you had your own island, you could do pretty much whatever you wanted to do. And so that's kind of how that was born in a way. Uh, but there's been other ways. I mean, I could write a movie about this podcast. It's just just the way my brain works. I can just
Mhm.
formulate it. When I wrote it's kind of a James Bond kind of Better Call Saul, uh, Ray Donovan kind of flick. It's called I Know a Guy, and that's the last line of the film. So I wrote all the way back up the whole 110 minutes to that one part to where it's I know a guy, and so it's it's both a blessing and a curse, because like my manager's right, I do live to write, and I love that.
Yeah, that is awesome. Uh, so you said that was a lot of international travel, because I believe that whenever I looked you up, you did oh you did Olympic style events, correct?
Right. It was it's funny because over here, track is not a big deal in track. I mean, in sports. But over in Europe, they fill football-sized stadiums, for track meets, and Japan or South America, and so that's where that's where the money was. So,
Hmm.
I had a group of about 20 athletes would go travel and compete. I had marathon runners, so I got to see a lot of the world. That's exposed to a lot of cultures, but situations, and understood people for who they were. and why they were. And
Yeah.
but one thing about it, I never had explained when they found out I was from Texas. I never had explained where Texas was or anything. You know, I'd get the Cowboys, Indians. I'd get the bang bang, or something. It, it was something to be. We are a prideful group. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, you can mention any other state, people most around the world don't really know about it, but you say Texas, they're like, "Oh, I've heard of Texas."
Yeah. So it's and people want to hear the howdy ma'ams and what have you. How y'all doing? Whatever the Texas genre. So I was more than happy to deliver that.
For sure. I like when I'm like, "How y'all doing?" And it's so different hearing somebody from a different state come through, and they always say "you all," "you all," and then whenever they're getting used to talking Texan, then they start saying "y'all all."
Well, people when we would be at a certain event, if someone found out we were from Texas and they know the Tex-Mex restaurant there in Europe, they would always try to get us to go check it out and give a review of it. And you had to be really political. Oh, this is different. No, this is One of the
Nice.
athletes, one of my clients, one time he went and he said, "Man, this is a bunch of crap." Let's be more, you know, uh, whatever. We're guests here, but
Nice. Uh, so whenever so with those ones, you know that I actually did Junior Olympics for cross country.
oh really? No.
Yeah, I did my qualifier in Montana. And so it was like around 30, 40 miles. I mean, 30 miles. 30 miles. It was about 30, 40 degrees whenever I did my qualifier.
I bet it was.
And then we ran the actual junior Olympics in New Mexico. Oh man, that was torture. It was same elevation, so that wasn't an issue. What was an issue was it was 104 degrees that day.
Oh,
And so whenever I took off for the first 100 meters, I was not able to sprint the whole thing. By the time I finished trying to sprint that, my lungs were on fire. I started to walk and I was like, wow, this is not normal for me.
back when I was a runner, that I did better in cold weather because I was just running to get out of the cold weather faster.
See, when we were up there, and it felt great. Now, whenever I go back, because I've been in Texas for so long, because I've been to and from Texas. I describe it this way, because we've been in Montana, we've been in Texas, we've been in Montana, and then Texas again, and so I just explain it this way: my parents were chasing the green buffalo.
Nice.
So still traditional type indigenous people, just different colored buffalo this time, and it was just we move back and forth a lot, and so I do like Texas more. I consider Texas more of a home. That's hometown. That's where I'm from, the reservation. I was born up there on the reservation. However, Texas has been a very good place to me. It's been a very good home. I have a couple of businesses here in Texas. I have a lot of really good friends and a lot of good productions. I meet a lot of really great people here in Texas, and even the type of stuff that I did was very direct. Go knock doors, introduce yourself. And of all the states that I did, because I did magazine sales for a while, of all the states I've been to, Texas was definitely the nicest.
Well, we are the friendly state.
For sure. And whenever people move here, it's like it's a culture shock, They expect to have the same mindset of wherever they came from, and it's not like that here. We are literally a melting pot within the United States, which is what the United States is supposed to be, a melting pot of people. Well, that's Texas.
Well,
And
and,
so
and and we are. I mean, it's funny when you watch the Grammys sometimes, which I don't watch the Grammys, but it's you use channels. The it seems like every major category has a Texas artist, and
mhm.
they're so diverse. From gospel to country to R&B to rock. And you're like, wow, we really are, diverse. And I think that's really feeds into the music because,
Hmm.
um, I was, like I said, from Freestone County, but that's where Blind Lemon Jefferson came, which,
Hmm.
by the way, the movie's not made about him. It should be. But he made Deep Ellum what it was. And
Hmm.
but then you have Willie Nelson, you have Lightning Hopkins from Centerville. You had so many artists, from you had Barry White from Galveston, Janis
Hmm.
Joplin from Beaumont. I mean, so many different genre. Kirk Franklin from gospel from Fort Worth. I mean, it's and you can draw from all of those, and I
Oh
think
yeah,
that's probably unique. So
for sure. And I saw the mansion that Kirk Franklin used to live in Arlington.
no,
And so
honestly,
yeah, it's still a gated community. It's a really nice house.
yeah,
And then and even on the actor side, Matthew McConaughey is from Texas. Dennis Quaid is from Texas. There's a lot of different actors that are from here. Taylor Sheridan, Texas as well. And then
right.
you're from Texas.
Yeah.
I had a question. Have you ever thought about submitting your scripts into like the San Antonio Film Festival?
I've never submitted anything except once, and that was actually recently. I submitted a script to the Kyrus Prize, and I was a semifinalist there. And it was a period piece, so I didn't know how that would go over, but I wanted to kind of see, to gauge how that would be looked at. And so, but no, I've never really done. I've been asked to read for the Austin Film Festival to give my opinion of scripts, but
Hmm.
I've never really. But then again, when I got into this, I had no mentor or no one to really tell me, what I needed, and it's only until recently that I signed with management back in
Yeah.
June, I believe. And the only way I got that, I've been kind of begging this Dawn Marie Larkin out of with D2D Talents to look at me and maybe consider me for a spot. She'd always give me the polite, "Oh, I'm my roster's full. I'm busy. I've got everything on my plate," So, which was a polite no. And one day I kind of challenged her about it gone on for about 3 years. I'd reach out about once every 6 to 8 months. And so one time back around May, I believe, I uh, I said, "Hey, look, I know this guy. He's got really good scripts, and uh, if you he's looking for management though because he doesn't have it currently. If he was all that I said he was, would you make a place for him?" And she said, "Yeah, he's all that you said he is." And I said, "Well, that's me." And I said, "I'll tell you what, I'll make a challenge to you. You pick out one of my scripts from my catalog that you see. I'll send it to you. And if that script, if you don't like it, you're off the hook. Even if you do like it and you're still too busy, you're off the hook. But if you really, really like it, you think, no, I need to be in business with this guy, you're still in charge. So would you take that challenge?" She goes, "No one's ever asked me that. I'll take that challenge." I
Hmm.
sent her this. She goes, "Okay, I'll look at the war letters." I sent her the script. 5 days later, I had a contract. And, so,
Nice.
you just gotta, you
Yeah.
and now I'm looking for burning buildings, that I can drive around Dallas and save a baby so I can make the news. And they're trying to talk to me about, you saved a baby. And I said, "Yeah, but I got scripts right now. I'm looking for investors." I'm a screenwriter. My name's Floyd. So my website, floyd.com. So, I mean, the first time I ever made USA Today as a sports agent was not one of my more glowing moments. In fact, I probably
Yeah.
looked pretty stupid because I got a call from this reporter about an issue that I had with an athlete. I was actually having an argument with him because he wasn't going to defend his title at this major marathon. He listened to his coach and agreed to run a marathon in Japan. And so this reporter calls me, whom I knew, I was friendly with. I thought this was off the record. So I was talking. I was probably a little more, well, I know I wasn't talking. I was way more candid than I should have been. And the next day, it was word for word what I said in Nationwide in USA Today. I looked probably like an idiot for talking about it. But my phone was ringing off the hook the next day. And it's like one athlete said, hey, if you're big enough to make USA Today, you're big enough to be an agent. And so I kind of learned a lesson there. Any publicity is good publicity. And so that's why I keep looking for the burning buildings to rush into and save some little puppies or something. Yeah.
Nice. Now, one more time, I put this. I want to put it up there if anybody wants to look you up. Because the podcast plays videos too, and I do have it set up to where I can upload video to there as well as audio. I want to put it on the screen what your website is because I do have some directors that watch the show as well too, and some people who like to fund different projects. I want them to be able to look you up real quick. What was your website again?
Known as Troy, right there.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah. Known as Troy.com.
Okay. And once that pops up, there we go. Known as Troy.com.
Yeah.
I spelled that right. Yes, I did spell it correct. I got really big fingers, Sometimes I hit a couple of keys at the same time. I used to be really good at computers, but that was a long time ago. iPads, I didn't have to type anything out anymore. Got lazy.
This is why I wear glasses now because I've been on the computer so much staring at the screen now. And you were talking about things that you wanted to do and all that, and I want to, I'm not the casting director, but I think it'd be the way my contracts are structured on the options. It's been really good that I get to be the script consultant, meaning they can't change. I get to oversee that, but when people read scripts, that means that they got a leg up because they already know it. They've had time to digest it, think about it, and all. And I think it goes pretty well with you that I would love to see it someday. You walking down the street and someone else asks you, "Hey, who let the dogs out? Yo, what up?"
Yes. That would be great. That was very catchy too. And I was like, oh, that is great. That is genius.
So, hey, it's better than the other character.
Yeah.
Quit falling for that, TP, that buffalo crap outside the TP on fire.
Yeah. That's great.
Especially
I laughed at that really a lot too.
Especially when you just got those mocks in from Italy the day before. Ruin them so quickly.
Don't you just hate when that happens?
But you'll get those punks someday.
But I would like to see some of your stuff end up like talk to your manager. Maybe that would be something that y'all could do because the San Antonio Film Festival. I had Adam Roach on a little while back, and he said that they did add a section to where people could submit scripts, and they'll be able to be read by other people too. And you never know what may come of it. There's a possibility that a deal may come out of it. One of the things that we had on with Callie Faye not so long ago was things about copyright stuff and either getting copyright. Me, I use poor man's copyright, which is I mail a copy of it to myself and I never open it just in case I ever need it for legal purposes.
Yeah.
And so those are all definitely possibilities, but having it also in a film festival with your name attached to it as the submitter, I mean, that's very public. That's very a lot of people are going to be a lot of people that are looking to fund films or film ideas will be exposed to it, so you never know some of the opportunities that may come from that as well too.
Well, I
And
had a
so
producer ask me, one time, she goes, "Are you certain your films are protected?" And I said, "Yeah, my films are protected 4 ways. The WGA, the U.S. copyright. In this
Okay.
particular situation, the Money Island is a book, so it's protected.
Hmm.
And I said, so uh, my book's protected through four ways, three of which are legal. They're all three of which are legal.
Hmm.
The fourth one,
Nice.
the fourth one involves guys showing up at the front door.
The fourth one involves the baseball bat.
Exactly. So, uh, no, but it's funny because I learned that after I had something stolen to really, protect it. And that's why I sent it. I mean, I sent one script to a local actress, Nikki Dixon. She's a great, lady. And I asked her to read the script because I want their input. And she was actually kind of mad at me one time for the way the script started off. She thought it was a little stereotypical. And she didn't really appreciate that. And let me know. She was legit mad. And I said, just keep reading. And I got a note from her 3 days later going, what goes on in that brain? And she goes, you totally got me. She goes, I said, good, I did my job. But people like that, you just want to find ways to repay what they do for you, to, make sure that go to battle for them if there's an opportunity for
Yeah.
screen time. You know, um, I'm just, Oh, and by the way, talking about Texas earlier, 60% of my scripts are involve Texas in one way or another. I mean, the Money Island is based in Texas, but the Love
Yeah.
Plant, which is a rom com, it's set in Fort Worth. So
Nice.
I want to promote Texas too.
That is awesome. Yeah, I do get that idea as well too, which is pretty awesome. And I've been wanting to have you on the show too. I saw some of your comments before. You're like, I didn't mean for that to come off screen. Actually, that's I encourage people to, write comments. I encourage people to ask questions. I want people to engage in the videos, and comments and be able to, have, even if it's just an encouragement, put it in the chat. Everybody loves seeing that. It brings encouragement, and so it makes people tend to feel pretty good too, because they know that, hey, people are engaging, they want to know more. That shows a lot of really good interest. So I do encourage people to leave comments, and I really really do appreciate whenever you comment on my live streams as well.
Well, I enjoy it, and too, and talking about getting that positive reinforcement. Writers, we're really needy people. We're
Mm.
like validation. Please, we're just please give my life meaning. Just say you like one.
Have you ever thought about doing, like, I guess, because Taylor Sheridan's a writer, right?
Yeah.
But he's also really heavily involved in his films. Like, whenever I was on the set of Landman, I did a lot of Patch Cafe scenes, and he was there on set with everybody, making sure that everything goes good. That everything kind of uh, that things were going along to the script the way that he liked. Have you ever
Mhm.
thought about being involved that way? Maybe having a production company to where maybe you can also produce as well some of your scripts.
Well, ultimately, I'm thinking, that I would ultimately like to direct someday. But any and all things, I'm still learning, 'cause if I knew it all, I would not be groveling at the attention, to get those that I do. And,
Hmm.
you know, in fact, one uh, actress set me up one time. She goes, "You're an awesome writer. I really dig you. I'm going to send you a guy, and he's better than you." I'm like, "Oh, okay. We'll send him over." And it was one of Taylor's scripts, Taylor Sheridan scripts. I'm like, "Well, yeah, you're sending a billionaire to compare to a thousandaire."
We do have somebody from the who's watching tonight, Madison KJ McManus. It says, "What style of scripts?"
Well, they say write what you know, and because you know, that
Oh,
sponge
look it up
that
now.
I mentioned earlier, um, and so I've got ideas from other things, but I write, suspense, but I even write love stories. I write rom coms. I write female action. Felony Jones. You can go to felonyjones.com to get an idea about Felony. Um, and my thing is just to tell a good story, and uh, oh, and I even have faith-based scripts, and I just want those to go out. Felony, like felony, like you know, some of us should be. Um, uh, but it's uh, those are the scripts, just
Okay, nice. That's pretty cool, man. It's great getting to know you a lot more, because I know that we've had our conversations, and sometimes we just chat just to chat, and but it's been great getting to know you ever since, I believe that you reached out to me on Facebook initially, right?
yeah. I just you were I could see you trying to grow things, and I love to watch people who are growing things, and but there's growing pains sometimes with that. And I just like to, like I say, I'm a former coach and uh, agent for both musicians and athletes. And I said, I'm not here to be your biggest fan or your, you know, to tell you you can do it. Because if you don't already believe you can do it, you shouldn't be trying anyway. I said, but I'm here to do what I can and build you up where necessary. And
Mhm.
that's initially, by reaching out, because and I also have a pretty good track record of people who are attempting something and later they really get it big. You know, and I
Mhm.
like to be able to say, "Hey, I was there and I watched that guy." Transition.
That
So.
is awesome. I really appreciate the support as well. I've been I got into acting. I didn't, now I've said it multiple times. I didn't really ever really think to be an actor.
Hmm.
Whenever the opportunity first came for the big production for Lom and Bass Reeves, I said no. I said no several times. And then Amy just kept begging me to be, to do it with her, that she wanted to do it. She just didn't want to do it alone. And so after a while, I was like, okay, yes, I'll go ahead and do it, because I was trying to focus on building a construction company that I was trying to help out with. And it wasn't really something that I saw myself doing. But after Bass Reeves, it was like something it was like a switch kind of flipped on, And I was still a little resistant to it, but I really enjoyed it. And that's whenever I really started caring about my how I looked again, because everything had become routine. I'd gotten up to like almost 400 pounds. I was huge. Even though I was walking every day, I was huge. And I saw photos of me that big, and I'm like, man, I can't believe I had let myself go that far. But I started playing Choctaw stickball. I started acting. I started getting active again. I got back in the gym. I lost over 100 pounds. I'm heading back to my old fight weight for, some roles that I have coming up, and it gave me like a uh, kind of like an energy that I hadn't felt in a long time. I was excited.
Hmm.
And so I just kept going and kept moving forward with it. And I've always said, because there's some things that I do question, why do I keep doing things, especially whenever it feels like I'm not going anywhere, but I actually am. But it's like, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep torturing myself? But the answer is simple. I'm too stubborn or too stupid to give up.
Oh, I'm there. I've got that quality too. So. Uh,
No, I actually enjoy it though, because I like storytelling and I like to, I have a lot of comedy in me, but I like storytelling and I love being part of the story and I like being a character in it. And I'm just like, hey, this is a new way I get to tell a story. I get to tell a story from somebody's perspective.
yeah.
And I'm that somebody now. And so I enjoy it. I do want to do a bit more martial art movies to kind of showcase some of the times that I used to fight. One of the roles that is kind of a dream role for me, but it seems kind of a reach, but I still try to shoot for it is because they are making the Mortal Kombat movies.
Hmm.
Uh, I've always wanted to play Nightwolf.
So.
It's so I was like, man, if I get back to my fight weight, that would do dual service and I can get an action role together. Maybe I can get casted for it or cast for it. Somebody got out to me for saying casted. Cast for it. And so, that's a little bit of a dream of mine because I was like, man, I've always liked Nightwolf, and so it's something that it's still a pipe dream, but it's still a dream that I go for. And
Well, I
so,
mean, as long as my thing is people get older and they don't think they've done anything with their life or whatever, and I say, you got the ability to change that. As long as you got a
mhm,
functioning brain and can, are mobile and have air in your lungs, you can you can dictate it or reinvent yourself or change.
oh,
And
for
so
sure.
that's something that I was. I believe. I try to. People always, when they try to make the thing about me, I try to turn it on them and saying, "What do you like, or what are you looking to do?" And then they'll tell me, "I want to write a book." I said, "Have you? What's the book about? Have you thought of this?" And I said, "Look, I'm not a fan of Nike due to my sports days, um, but I said to steal their slogan, just do it. You know, don't talk to me about it. Just do it." Because when my
Yes.
book came out, I had about 80 to 90% who congratulated me on my book commented that I want to write a book someday. You know how many have written a book since then? Zero. And my thing is, do it. Just get down, just make the time. You
Hmm.
And I said, if I can do it, anybody can. So,
Man, that is awesome.
yeah. So,
And that
but
is definitely great advice. One thing that comes up is, and we keep saying this too, if the doors aren't opening, kick them down.
yeah,
It's gonna be tough, but kick them down. You know, that's how Rambo came to be a movie. Was nobody was giving Stallone any lead roles, so what did he do? He made his own where he was the lead role,
mhm,
and now it's a cult classic.
yeah. Well,
And
you've got to be willing if you can't get in the front door, find the back door. If you can't find the back door, find the window. Crawl in.
it's and Madison said anyone can do anything or can do anything. The one thing I always say is care care through confidence. Listen through empathy and feel through the heart and keep your perspective growing. Much love y'all and beautiful week and have a beautiful week. And so, but you know what? I don't want to keep you up all night. I'm sure we could probably keep talking all night, but
I'm up for it.
it's so you know I know that we've given a lot of really good advice to people who are looking into being part of it. And that's why I say, I do want to bring in people who are part of different aspects of entertainment industry, because not everybody is interested in being an actor. You could be a writer, you could be somebody who's a PA on set, helping to make things happen, be a grip, be sound person. There are a lot of different components that go into making film, and not every one of them is acting. And so that's why I love bringing in everybody else from different parts of the entertainment industry, musicians, authors, writers, even yeah, I do bring in a lot of actors. However, that seems to be most of the people I know. But I want everybody to gain exposure, and I see it as my platform as like kind of like we're boats. I would love that if I rise, that everybody who's been on my platform with me, I want to bring all my guests back, especially whenever I start gaining more, because I am gaining steam. I'm gaining more of a following and an audience. I want everybody to come back on my show, who was especially on the beginning ones, whenever I don't really have a whole lot of viewers. I want them to come back and be my guest again, because if I rise, then everybody in my network rises too. And so that's what I want to do is I want to be a way that people become more well known. Texas talent becomes more well known. Writers get more well known in the recognition that they deserve. Because without writers, like I said, we don't really have. And it was seen during the time of the writer strike that there wasn't very good content coming out from main productions, and independent film really stepped up and was able to show, hey, we're here, we can do great things too, we have some really good talent.
Yeah, it's uh, I'm one of these that I'm not um, threatened by other success. In fact, I applaud it because I'm just dumb enough to think that if I was there for them, they might be there for me. Which I know this is very competitive business. I mean, I've had other writers, producers tell me to my face. They said, "Look, I'm not going to help you at all. You know, I will never introduce you to anyone that that you might benefit from." And because one guy told me one time, he said, "I've read your stuff. It's pretty good. And I don't want the competition." I'm like, "Thanks." I, I'm thinking there's a compliment, but I'm generally a positive guy. I had a guy tell me the other day. He said, "Man, I got those couple bones I need to pick with you." And I said, "You're taking me out for ribs?" I thought, "Oh, okay, you know." He goes, "No, I'm mad about something." I found out what he was mad about. But, you know, it's so that's just my go-to to think on the positive side. So,
Yeah, and well, I'm a different type of person. You're in my network, like I said, you've been super supportive of me and my career and everything, and I'm the kind of person that I love to show gratitude. And if I move forward, I'm the kind of person that likes to bring everybody with me. I have the same management style, and with my companies, I'm the same way too. With the people I train, I'm like, look, I'm not one of those companies that, hey, my company is doing great, let's forget all the salespeople who helped me get there. Me, I love paying the highest commission, whenever, because most of my stuff is commission based. It's based off of jobs. However, I love paying the highest amount because I believe that it's going to bring me loyalty in the end. If I keep you happy monetarily, or I keep you paid and happy, then that's going to keep me happy because I don't have to have a revolving door. I have people who are familiar with the way I like to do things and know that they're going to stick around and be reliable. I'm not about the numbers. I know that there's certain amount of claims that I personally can handle in a month. And right now it's just me. However, I do have some people that are part-time salespeople that, whenever volume picks up, they're going to be there. I have crews that have stuck with me, like Vicente Rodriguez. He has Rodriguez Roofing and Construction. He's started his own business, and the time that I've known him, and he's always encouraged me to get back into roofing. Has always been a big support, but I don't mind paying him what he wants paid, because he does a great job. you know Same with my sales rep. I love loyalty. Same with my acting peeps too. My acting family is, I want everybody to succeed, and so if I know people that you could benefit from, I'm gonna introduce you to them. I'll be like, hey, have you heard of Troy?
well,
And so,
I would love my rom com, to be made there in Fort Worth. It is centered around Fort Worth, and it kind of showcases the city a bit, in a subtle way,
mhm,
And I told and I'm all about controversy. I don't see a problem with that. And I told my the producer who has the option on it, if it gets funded, I told him, I said, well, um, let's go with the news right now. Why don't we go with Blake Lively and her husband? They're kind of, in they're in the news, and that he be the love interest, and that would be. He goes, well, that's pretty hot right now. It's okay. I love controversy. So
mhm.
I've never been one to shy, away from that. So,
That's-
but I'm always this. I'm all about marketing. Like I said, that
mhm.
squirrel's always running. You know. He's
Oh,
a
for
tired
sure.
squirrel, but he's always running.
My brain is kind of the same way too. I have to make it slow down just to go to sleep sometimes, but I tend to be a 6 hour sleeper. If I sleep longer than that, I get a headache and my brain doesn't work right. But
Yeah,
if I
well, the
sleep
only
6 hours, I'm good.
well, the thing someone said about that always used the squirrel analogy. They said, "Is that Troy? Is that just because you're nuts?" And I said, "Probably." In fact, the uh, lady who used to be the head of the Dallas Film Commission, she told me one time. She said, I got a call from LA about you. I think they were vetting you, to see kind of what kind of person you are." This may have been before COVID. I can't remember because a lot of things were lost due to COVID. A lot of opportunities, momentum. But she said they did ask, "Is he a nut job? I mean, is he pretty solid or is he a nut job?" She goes, "No, no, he's a really good, solid guy." And I said, "No, you should have told him I'm a nut job. I want to fit in."
Oh, what a fit in. That's great.
So, I need to remind Janice about that. But no,
And
it's just again, I love telling stories. My dad instilled the love of film for me because he was 14 years old in Davis, Oklahoma, when he was running the projector there, at age 14 at the local, you know, uh,
yeah.
theater. And then he would go on the road as a train engineer. And so he'd go down to Houston, take the train from my hometown. So he'd have about 18 hours down there. There wasn't anything to do, so he said I'd watch a lot of movies sometimes. And he'd come back, "Hey, have you seen this movie or whatever?" And then we'd talk about it, or we'd talk about old movies. He got me introduced to like things like Shane, old western and others, so I've always that grew from that. So I just now I'm a storyteller. Love to tell stories. Love to throw the red herring out there and make you follow that, but come up with the plot twist. Hope
Yeah.
you enjoyed it.
Man, that is awesome, and that's great to hear. I want to see your success rise as well too. I'd love to see your scripts, especially the one that I read. I want to see that in the movie. It's so if there's any way that I can help, you can expect that I'll try to send people your way too.
Well, it is
Which
a
I think
Texas.
you're a little higher ranking than I am, but if it ever gets to that point.
Well, it is it's a Texas film. It's the Lost Texans, so it's we got to film it here.
For
So
sure. It's so that's what I do is whenever I go to these sets and I'm an extra or background, I'm out there networking. you know, I'm building my name. I'm building a good name for myself. I'm getting my name to people who didn't know me before, and I'm getting to people that are like, "Hey, have you met Little Dog?" And I've had people contact me and say, "Hey, so and so said I should meet you." I'm like, "Who?" And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Well, nice to meet you." And it's become like a little surreal. There's a couple of events that I've gone to where people walked up and, it was surreal for me because I never expected it to happen. They're like, "Hey, I follow you on Facebook." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Nice to meet you."
well,
It's really cool to feel that, but I've also made up in my mind too, and I've always had it made up that if I ever made a name for myself, that I was gonna be approachable. I'm cool with people. I like having people around, and I enjoy meeting people.
I'm a people person, but they say never meet your heroes, and that's why I don't want to meet Dwight Yoakam. I love Dwight Yoakam, but I don't want to meet him. But no, but in the news, what is it? The $2.5 billion that the Texas state Senate's talking about maybe dropping, for film incentives. I know that's in the news. Hopefully that'll come and it'll be spent on Texas artists, not to the LA artists to come to Texas, but for Texas artists. And but then we got some sad news yesterday with Val Kilmer. You know, the guy got
Yeah.
robbed. In Tombstone, he should have got an Oscar nomination.
Oh
I,
yeah.
I don't know who won that, but he should have been
Uh,
nominated. I do declare. So
I'm your Huckleberry.
yeah,
Oh man, Val Kilmer was an amazing actor. Of course, Tombstone. He was in Heat. He was a Batman at one point. And so, thanks, David Vela, for watching us out of Oakland. If you don't know David, David's is an actor as well. He's a former Raider. I think you
Oh,
watched that, didn't you? He was
oh,
on the show before too, but he's a former Oakland Raider wide receiver.
oh, I came in. I never got the names. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And so he was also on an older show too. I did a film with him with Lion Axe Productions called the Legend of the Donkey Lady. It's on YouTube, but we did a film. We had different separate scenes, but we were in the same film. And I met David through a casting from Ronnie Hummel Productions for a funeral home, and he came up to Fort Worth, and we shot little ads for like YouTube and all that for a funeral home, and that's where I got to meet him. He's really tall. It made me feel short, but he's also a really cool guy.
Well, it's funny. This, like I said, this business can when you think you're all that, and then you realize you get around somebody and you feel like a thousandaire in a room full of billionaires. You know.
And so, but I love it because I do get to meet a lot of new people, and like I said, I love meeting people and networking, and I've met so many cool people. I've met a lot of people who I found out later on that I shouldn't hang around or really talk to, but but the cool people definitely outweigh some of the people that attract chaos. Like another actor, like you said, no, don't meet your heroes. I got to meet another indigenous actor, or considered an indigenous actor, and unfortunately it turned out to be a letdown. We were in the same agency together, and that's how we ended up meeting, because we are covered by Interama. However, he turned out to not be as cool as I thought it was, but I stuck with Interama. He didn't. Now Interama's starting to work and get me jobs, and so I'm really happy to be a part of the agency. They're international. It seems sometimes it can feel like the agent's not doing anything, and then all of a sudden you get like hey, I got an email from them saying, hey, here's an audition for you. But you got to remember that outside of the United States, not very many countries speak English. Some of them do, but not all of them do. And so those roles are very far in between. But you know, it's cool to have somebody out there on your side. I was actually introduced to the NASA's through Marcus de Villa at Alliance Act Productions. And so, they're working on a production side. And so that may be a good tie into as well, because I know that Lions Act Productions is in San Antonio, and they're working on a few films and a few other films that are written by other people as well too. And so they're independent company as well. And then IRM Films is out of Dallas. They're a small film company, but he recently also got a camera for like a 4K camera. I think it's a 4K camera. I'm not sure the type of camera it is, but I know that it's a Netflix approved camera, and has been able to put out a lot of really cool content. He's been contracted from doing one film that he did a while back called the Diamond Texter, and now he's got I think 5 movies in the pipeline. And so it's cool to see some of these independent people move up, especially here in Texas. But these are all ties for people to to work on different things with. To network, to tie together, and that's what I do on Fridays is the Film Hub Fridays.
Well, and San Antonio is a great town. I mean, I even got married there once. So my wife hates that joke because people are like, "How many times have you been married?" I said, "Once." "Weren't you listening?" See, I said, "Well, but the way you said it, it sounded like you've been married about 5 or 6 times." But I'm a dad. I'm allowed to tell bad jokes. So I also include them in scripts. But
You know what? I think I noticed that too. I was like, that's definitely a dad joke.
it's my thing is I just the second thing I ask people when I meet them, usually, someone called me out on this recently. They said, "Why do you do that?" They said, "I would notice you always ask people after you learn the name, you ask where they're from." And I said, "Well, I'm pretty well traveled. I probably would have been there, or I know one of their superstar athletes or something." And so that's now we have a commonality established between us, and that's you know that's what I like. I'm no better than you are, and you're no better than I am, and well, we have some commonality, and so it's it's funny that they call me out. I didn't realize it's so obvious. I thought it was more subtle, but I love meeting people, and it's this business. It sure gives the opportunity for that to meet people.
Oh, nice. That is really cool. It actually, David Villa's kind of giving some little tips out there about season 5 of Chosen starting to casting. So I'll check into that. Appreciate it, David. And I like passing on information. I tell people to pay attention to my page because my acting page, and I do it sometimes on my other profile too, that's the one for the show, but definitely on my acting page, I share casting calls for people to look into. Because even though if it wasn't, something that that's for me, it's for somebody else, and I'm not going to hinder somebody from going for a role. If me and a friend are up for the same role, I'm rooting for my friend. And so Pat says that he was also in the Chosen. He was in 2 and 3 as a pharaoh and a Pharisee and a citizen. Now Pat's really cool. He's got a really big old beard.
Oh yeah, I actually know Pat. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
follow
okay,
him on
nice.
Facebook. So but,
Nice. His gonna be on. I think I have him on next week. Uh, I know that he got cast in a movie, and I think we're gonna be promoting it. And so I'm excited because his Pat's a really cool guy. I still got to schedule a time to go out there and test his water. He wants the water testing where he's at, so I know I got to go do that too.
well,
It's next week, yes.
oh okay.
Pat's gonna
Well,
be on. Yeah, Pat and Lion, which is one of the ones that I have from the Dallas Film Hub sessions.
mhm.
They're scheduled to be on for next week. I'll make that announcement later because one of the things I've been trying to do is I've been trying to get more organized to where at the end of the episode I explain that the guests for next episode. And so, but anyways, okay,
Well,
sorry. My laptop, I'm kind of having a little bit internet issues. I have Spectrum as well. And that's
no,
how I know Spectrum.
don't get
Spectrum
me
kind of
started.
sucks.
I'm ready to write a
It's
commercial and pitch it to their competitors after
yeah.
today. But well, man, I have so appreciated this. And I appreciate you giving me the time to be on. Um, I'm always, it's funny. I never was the athlete I wanted to be, but I was able to become an agent, even a TV guy. I was on NBC on a short-lived syndicated series, a sports show.
Hmm.
And so, I was able to surround myself with those people and be relevant, and music, but kind of the same. And so now film is kind of different now, so I'm getting into that. So I'm still learning. I'm really grateful for the opportunities that I've had and the very close calls that I did miss out on. But the fact that I got, some A-list actor, Oscar-winning here, and then even on the scripts that I have written or doctored for other people, to see an A-list actor recite my words is pretty exciting, you know. But it's all kind of like goes back to Jerry Maguire. We're in the background, you know. That's my hand in the picture. And being a former sports agent, I'm used to people asking me the photographers to ask me to step out of the picture, and I was like, okay, it's cool. My feelings weren't hurt. I'm I'm not the guy who just won the marathon or the guy who just won the Olympic gold medal or whatever. I'm just that guy behind the scenes. but now the product is me, and I want to push that product any and every way I can.
For
So I
sure.
thank you for letting me on.
Hey, no problem. And I really appreciate you coming on today. It's been a great show, and I it's honestly what I think is it's my guests that make the show great. I'm just here to help out. I consider myself like a Lego piece. I connect people to other people. I'm a connector. It's so I enjoy having you on, and you, Jesse, y'all are some great people, and y'all have been great, really cool people that I've been able to get to know in this entertainment industry. And I always appreciate everybody's support, and you guys have also been a very big support for me as well too. The different times that we talk, the tips that you've given me, the leads to try to chase down to try to make this show a lot bigger than it currently is. Like I said, I do want to push this into being like Texas's first late night show.
Oh yeah.
And so that is definitely a goal that I want to see happen, because I think that would be cool to have different segments on the show to showcase different talent. Maybe improv section, maybe one night show. People having fun on there. Acting. Showing trailers of films coming out, and uh, that are coming up, just so that way people can be familiar with stuff that is around them and get more than what only Hollywood is trying to put out. And so, to show that Texas is a big market too. And so I really appreciate you guys for helping me to put this and keep pushing the show forward. And I hope to, uh, one day, of course, be in one of your scripts. I appreciate you letting me read the Lost Texan. That was a very great read. It's so, uh,
Thank you.
I know that Spectrum has given me a little bit of issues as far as internet connection is going on my end.
Did that just happen? Because I was thinking you were acting there for a second, but no. Wow. Um, I After today, maybe we're both on that TV hidden camera show with what was
Sorry
actually
about that. I don't know what happened. Why do I have two different logins right now? That is weird. Um, Give me 1 second. Let me remove that one. I don't know how that happened. I got kicked out, and then it asked me to relog in.
Well, I was trying to mess with you because I went through but I didn't know if you were buying it, so I'm not that great an actor to act like I froze. Oh,
I got you. I really appreciate you, man. And I'm going to. I don't want Spectrum to give me any more issues, so I don't know what happened, but I think that
maybe
might be
they
a
heard it.
sign that it's come to the end of the night.
Yeah. And by the way, the camera you have on me had my shirt backwards, and maybe I should have worn it inside out so you could have seen my Beatles T-shirt. So, so,
Oh, nice.
so
Hard Day's
anyway,
Night
I
Night.
couldn't find the T-shirt I wanted, and a guy gave it to me. He had a vodka company in Serbia, in Belgrade, and it had Crazy Horse in the center, and it had Serbian written around it. But I don't know where that T-shirt is, and every time I wore it out or I played music in it, people wanted to buy it. Now I can't find it. I was going to wear that one for the show, so I'm now. That was one more thing that went wrong today. So I'm, I'm panicked. It wasn't in my cool T-shirt drawer. But anyway, hey, thank you for what you do. Best to you and fam. And continued success, and let's all get there together. And if one beats the other, we pull the other one up.
Okay.
There are no crabs in the bucket here. if you're familiar with that film.
Exactly. Exactly. I really appreciate you, Troy. You have a great night. And I'm just gonna go through my closing section, and I'm gonna call it a night as well. Thank you
All
very
right.
much for coming on.
Hey, thank you, little dog. You
Not a
little
problem.
dogs out there.
You have a great night, Troy.
Hey, you too.
And don't forget, whenever you go in there, you can go to Leaf Studio, okay? And
All
if you
right.
want, it does download. I do have it set up so that way, if you want, yours will download to your segment if you want it to. If not, I can also get you your segment too, okay?
Okay. Appreciate you.
Not a
Thanks, man.
problem. Yeah, have a good night.
See ya. Bye.
All right, bye. Man, that was a great show. And it's always great to have, familiar people on and some great people with great energy. And that's what I like to have on the show. This was a great night. I really appreciate, you know, everybody who contributes to the show, everybody who watches the show. Thank you guys very much for all of your support. You guys are all amazing and y'all are all wonderful as well. Don't forget, we're going to do these hats for once we get to 25 subscribers, I guess. 25 and 50. Something to kind of help give out, give back. They're beaded hats. And like I said, they're beaded by Indigenous. I know that this one says Dallas Cowboys. We're in Texas, and I know that they're struggling, but I'm still a Cowboys fan, and I always will be. Doesn't matter. Uh, and then, once we get to about 100 subscribers, we'll start going with the better Cowboys hats. And I have other beaded hats as well too that we're going to start doing as giveaways. And what we'll do is we'll run them as drawings. And the only thing that you have to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel. Today's Entertainers with Little Dog YouTube channel. Okay. So TEWLD. Subscribe, get notified so that way you can see on there. You can also comment on the page whenever I am doing a live stream, and it will still pop up just like you're watching on Facebook. So I appreciate everybody. Y'all have a wonderful night. Follow the YouTube page. Support. I love everybody's support. So uh, I'm working on my end credits to get it back because I do have to change some things since we are under a different production company, which is going to be my own because I'm going to be doing commercials later on for a couple of different places. And of course, I'm going to be doing the production for my own little short screen stuff that I'm planning to make. From how much is being written, I may end up with a little mini series on YouTube, which I'll be casting for. It's going to be super low budget, just so that you know. It's just getting started. I might just submit it as a script, maybe see if I can get some notoriety for it. However, you know, I want to see things go far. I want to see my network go far. I want to see everybody who's involved, who's been supportive, who's been super supportive of the show. I want everybody to succeed. I know that not everybody will, but I will do the best I can to help you succeed, okay? I'm not going to try to hold you back. I'm not going to, even if I don't agree with somebody, I'm not the kind of person that's going to, turn around and talk bad about somebody. I'm going to keep everything to myself. I don't want to cause troubles by saying something to somebody, but I also don't want to contribute or hold on to it because I know that's going to cause trouble on set. And we all work together. We're going to have jobs where we all cross each other's paths. There's no need for fighting. There's no need to be argumentative. There's no need to have all of this mess with what could be great productions. However, due to indifferences, creates a bad environment. And then next thing you know, the production isn't that great because the chemistry isn't there for the characters. I want us all to do very well. I know that I'm not going to get what I want, but it's something that I would like to do. And I want to see, again, everybody succeed. Writers, PAs, actors. I want there to be more work here. I love promoting Texas talent. I love promoting independent film, period, no matter which state you're from. If you want to, if you're interested in becoming a guest on the show, I know that I do have a lot of requests that do come in, and everybody, I do get booked out for several weeks sometimes, and some people do fall through the cracks as far as, coming out to the show, and I do forget. So please, remind me, because my week gets busy. I have a couple of companies. I'm working with three different companies. I'm also trying to make the podcast go, and so please email me. I'm gonna put it up on the screen here in a little bit, but please email me, remind me. If I don't put you in a chat, one thing is that I use Facebook as a very good tool because I can monitor, like right now my camera is my phone, and so I'm monitoring my Facebook chat on my laptop, which is right here. Thanks to my family for getting it to me, and my mom, dad, sisters, for getting this laptop for me, so that way I can be of better use to better help. It's a lot faster. And so, oops, I put up the wrong one. But email me today's.entertainers.littledog@gmail.com. And when I say that I use Facebook as a tool because I can monitor the chat, I do make group messages with everybody that's in them. I ask that everybody to be professional inside of them, and whenever we're in the group chat, because not everybody in the group chat wants their phone to keep going off with things that have nothing to do with the show. So, one-on-one conversations are great. However, you know, all we got to do is just keep it professional inside the chat. Okay. If you want to DM me something privately, please DM me something privately. Okay. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Lafayama, Little Dog Murillo. You'll see a headshot of me on there. You'll see my photo from the show. You can also reach out on Facebook with the Today's Entertainers with Little Dog Facebook page and Instagram page. And coming soon, I am working on it's no longer Twitter, but an X page. Okay. Keep up with us. Keep up with my YouTube page. I'm trying to grow the YouTube page. I will be putting up some stuff, that interviews that I've done with Dallas Film Hub on Film Hub Fridays. And I am more than happy to meet up with everybody. I'm going to put that overlay a little bit later on. However, reach out to them. They do have a vetting process. He does do Film Hub Fridays where a lot of actors get together and network on Fridays as well, from here in DFW area and some from further away, and he does short films. Doobie B is the man behind that, and it's IRM Films and Dallas Film Hub. But if you go to Dallas Film Hub, they will vet your Facebook and your social medias and check you out, and then invite you out. And so you can do that. You can also text them. His number is going to be on the overlay here in a second. And let me see. Actually, let me see if I can do that overlay now. How about that? And here it is. I uploaded it today. So, Film Hub Fridays. All right. You get that? The location is not always the same. So, Friday at 6 p.m., text Doobie at 469-219-4620. And so I have some uh micro interviews that I've done on over here that I'm editing currently and about to be releasing on my YouTube channel. So please subscribe, get notifications, keep up with them. These people that these micro interviews are going to be with are also going to be on guests in the future. So you get a little sneak peek at some of the things that we're going to talk about. I tell people to keep it a little bit vague on there because that's going to be just how I'm introducing them to my crowd and be able to promote them later on whenever their episode comes up. For instance, Lion Aura and Pat Wesson are coming on my next episode next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard. Lion is from the DFW, the Film Hub Fridays. I met him through Doobie. And so, keep an eye out for that. So I thank you all for watching. I'm going to play a little bit of an end credits. And like I said, my end title credit is different. So I'm just going to play the film of whenever DJ Kane came onto the show and sang the song that he sang for us. So hopefully that's acceptable for today. Y'all have a wonderful night. And get the Matson. I'll see you later.
So don't forget DJ Kane online for anybody that's listening. And what we're doing right now is the host actually, I'm singing a song to end it, so he wanted to give you all the full camera version, just in case when I share this to all my fans and all my people, when I share this podcast, if you didn't see it, if you're seeing it now, that's why you're seeing it like that. We'll start it off like that. Fuiste mal con mi corazón y ahora vienes a buscarme. Un día fuiste todo para mí y ahora no puedo ni verte. Oh yeah, all right. Come on. Y atreves a pedir, sigo atormentada por salvarme, porque me quieres, pues que me crees, grito por el pasado, como si nunca pasó, que te libre de tus penas, que te dé mi perdón, porque te quiero, lo siento, pero estás en un error, que fuiste mala conmigo, y ahora vienes a buscarme. Un día fuiste todo, y ya ahora puedo ni verte. Yeah, something like that. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate it.